Just get what you can, get what you can, get what you can. They're all the same. Get what you can, get what you can.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, April 25th, 2021. This is your award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1341.
This is No Agenda.
Very vaxxable and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. Good morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's not raining. It's supposed to be raining. They say it would be raining. Everyone thinks it's going to be raining, but it's not raining. Now, how can they predict global warming? I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
If you'd like me to shake the stick for California, I'm happy to do it. If you want some rain, we can make it rain. We got rain. We know how to do rain. We can make it rain.
Well, we could use the rain because otherwise it's going to be bad enough with the fires because they do such a poor job of fire management nowadays.
Hey, was there an error?
They blame that on global warming, too.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to the global warming
stuff. Want to do a stick?
Sure. Who are we doing the stick for?
California.
All right. Hold on. What do we need? Is it a one shake or a two?
I think it's a half shake, one rotation period.
One rotation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the program, these are official rain sticks. They come from Utah. They are handmade. They are real. They work. We are licensed professionals. Please do not try this at home. Pointing towards California. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Ooh, good to the last drop. Nice. All right.
That should do it.
Hey, I think there was an error. And it was a weird one because I saw it, I didn't register, and then I checked with my sister, and then I'm like, oh my goodness. Did we mistakenly put Italy in the newsletter instead of India regarding the COVID outbreak?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I can go back and check, but I'm pretty sure I pulled this down from Italy, and then the India stuff showed up on the wire. It's possible that the original report was bad, and maybe I screwed up.
Let me see.
But India is out of control.
Yeah, let me just see what it says here. Yeah, it says Italy in the newsletter. I knew it was a mistake because I called Willow. And I'm like, what the hell? What's going on over there? Yeah. No, of course, I didn't understand it until
I have
this
to
morning.
Go back and see where I got the Italy reference from.
Anyway, I did call Willow, who's in Tuscany, and she said, no, it's exactly the opposite. We're doing great here. However, she works for a company that has outsources in India. And she said lots of her colleagues have tested positive. Some may or may not be sick, but they are staying home. Their chief technology officer was briefly hospitalized. But I have 2 other reports from regarding India. I have
3 clips about India, none from Italy. But I will say this. When I pulled down the Italy thing and then I went to look for photos, it was loaded with photos from Italy. There's the picture that was in the newsletter.
Yeah, it was Venice. Yeah, and I looked for all that and could not find it.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, so this is from one of our producers, and we'll get to those clips. These are just short notes. Part of my job requires working closely with our India teams, another producer. This week, one of the guys I work with was telling about how corona things are where he is. That's in Chennai. He says very similar, curfews in place, places of worship, schools closed. Nobody wants to go back to the office. Everyone's getting a pet because they're staying at home. I mean, could it be any more like us? Everyone's getting pets. But this report, let's see. Update on my experience working with Indian dudes named Ben. Our company outsources some of our programmers too. Feel free to share on the show. I manage a team of programmers and QA analysts who work from India. Since the start of COVID, I was waiting for something bad to happen with the guys working overseas since everything is so close together over there, and they take their religious festivals very seriously. For some reason, none of the guys on my team got COVID throughout any of 2019, 2020. They would tell me how they were stuck in their homes and had curfews and were only allowed to go out on certain days to get groceries at the worst of the pandemic. In the past 3 months, I've watched 5 of our team members go down with COVID. They would be out for at least 2 to 3 weeks, and some just never came back. One of the guys who got, quote, COVID, miraculously ended up with a new job after getting better. My point is simply that things seemed totally fine for a while, but the last few months, the virus was ripping through India. One of the guys said he was feeling sick, got tested. In the meantime, he called the hospital. spoke to management who told him if he had to be admitted, they would have no beds for him or his family. The funny thing is this guy had a doctor living in his house who gave him some medicine and said he felt much better. He said it was the Ready Pack. It's the 2-cent Ready Pack that we've been talking about.
$2.
Yeah. So what do we think? I mean, the way I see this, it's very possible that this is a strain and people are testing positive. To me, though, just looking at the pictures, looking at the story, looking at the videos of people, wailing away, it just feels so Manhattan to me, with the video.
I feel very much the same. And I want to mention something else before we go on to this because I'll forget. So I do the little look at the TV shows in the morning, even though Sunday there's mostly just the Face the Nation kind of
3x3.
There was a very interesting report on the Stephanopoulos show with some guy came on wearing a Detroit Tigers hat. I don't know what that was all about, but he's
well, Detroit is trying to get everyone to vaccinate. There's a lot of hesitancy there. So, yeah.
So it seems as if the current hesitancy, which is broad based and all across the country, and they're actually beginning to document it. And it turns out because of the dates and everything when it started, once they took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine off the market, that's when it began.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is that they've been brainwashing the public at large by saying, oh, all the vaccines are the same. Just get what you can, get what you can, get what you can. They're all the same. Get what you can, get what you can. And so when they pulled the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to this audience, it said, oh, my God, this one's no good. They must all be no good. Because of the connection between the three.
Yes, of course.
Get what you can, get what you can.
Well, did you hear the news report that I think really turned everybody off of the vaccines? I mean, this was unbelievable. When you do something like this on the news, I mean, you should be fired and you should have to, sit in the Pfizer dungeon. Now, this is indirect sound, so it takes a second to get accustomed to it.
Worrying health officials who call mass vaccinations the only path to a return to normalcy. Almost 4 months into the vaccination effort, providers are beginning to run out of people who want to be immunized.
A small gaffe from immunized to euthanized. What can I say?
That was a good one. Okay. But anyways, so back to the real point, which was this Johnson & Johnson pull, I think, triggered a real response that they did not expect. I think Pfizer's got to be kicking themselves.
Yeah.
This was just an icing on the cake. Let's get rid of those guys while we're at it. And meanwhile, it put the kibosh on the whole thing. And they're now all the reports locally, which is what you always expected from the get-go, which is they show all these huge operations in the drive-in theaters and all these lines, and nobody's there.
No one's there.
No cars.
Yep.
And the nurse comes on and she says, if you just want to come in, maybe you didn't like the idea of signing up or whatever, just come in.
Don't worry, we're here.
Vaccines, come in.
There was yes, I heard Scott Gottlieb, the former FDA commissioner who is now on the board of Pfizer. He was on CNBC several times since the last time we did the show. And you could tell that he was like, oh man, no, they'll bring it back and it's all good. He was kind of shilling a little bit on the side of Johnson & Johnson just to get everyone's confidence back. I think you're right. I think they really screwed the pooch.
This report that was on the Stephanopoulos show was doing everything but begging people to take it. And they had all the stats on how many people likelihood of getting hit by lightning as opposed to this blood clot. It was unbelievable. But it's too late. You screwed yourself.
I think I actually have a 13-second clip of this about the reclassification of Johnson & Johnson. I think. What is this?
I listened to hours of discussion among the advisory panel to the CDC and was blown away by the depth of discussion, the seriousness of thought, the degree of expertise. These are some of the smartest people on the planet.
Oh, yeah. So don't worry. when they say it's good to go, it's good to go. They're the smartest people on the planet.
Yeah, smarter. That's why they work for the government.
Smarter than Dr. Bill. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Do you want to hear the Detroit thing or do you want to go into India, your India clips?
Well, I got my India clips. Let's get those out of the way.
Let's do those.
And
Because it's, again, to me, sure, a variant, yeah, it's possible. People getting sick.
If this is an NPR report, so you're going to have to live with it.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
And I assume that this is a part of whatever the litany is supposed to be. NPR would have it.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
Yes, John. Was NPR on point as usual?
I don't know what they were on. They were on something.
Health experts have told us all along during the coronavirus pandemic that this is a global problem, that a surge in infections in one country, often accompanied by the emergence of new variants of the virus, represents a threat to public health everywhere. India today confirmed nearly 350,000 new daily coronavirus cases. That's a world record since the start of the pandemic. India has broken that record 3 days in a row now. The result is that India's health system is collapsing. Hospitals are overloaded and experiencing widespread shortages of life-saving equipment and medicines. NPR's Lauren Freyer is in Mumbai, one of the worst hit cities, and she's with us now. Lauren, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
What is the situation there today?
Well, the number one biggest need across all of India right now is oxygen. Big hospital chains have been tweeting out these SOS messages. I saw one a few minutes ago saying they have less than 2 hours supply left. There was one hospital in Delhi where officials say an oxygen tanker arrived to resupply them 6 hours late, and 25 people died last night because of that delay. These are hundreds, possibly thousands of patients dying like this every night. And hospitals are trying to ration oxygen. And
hold on a second. Hundreds, possible thousands dying every night. No, it was 25 last night. 25. And then she just makes up some numbers.
Oxygen tanker arrived to resupply them 6 hours late, and 25 people died last night because of that delay. These are hundreds, possibly thousands of patients dying like this every night. And hospitals are trying to ration oxygen. And these are patients that actually beat the odds and manage to get a hospital bed, which is a huge feat right now in India. And then they die with doctors at their bedsides, helpless. You can imagine how difficult this is for the medical staff as well. And many of these deaths could have been prevented if India had better prepared for this. You know, we are more than a year into this pandemic.
I'm so skeptical. I hate to say it. I'm just skeptical of these reports. Sure, if people are sick, we've got a mutant. That's our mutant warning sound. People get sick and some will die, but gee, man, I don't know. Why now?
Good catch on your part to mention that she says 25 died last night.
And then just hundreds, maybe thousands. Who knows?
Well, she kind of has a weasel way out of that comment because you'll hear it coming up. But this whole thing is India should have been better prepared. This thing should be over. Why prepared for what?
Well, there was an article that may be related. Medical workers among themselves at quarantine. Okay, here we go. The U.S., Canada, and U.K. are among some of the high-income countries actively blocking a patent waiver proposal designed to boost the global production of the COVID-19 vaccines. And this is organized by, believe it or not, mainly India. So what the article says is that these a-hole rich Western countries who developed this vaccine don't want to waive the rights on the patents in order for them to be made cheaply in their countries. Do you think it's maybe possible, if we listen to the rest of these NPR clips, that perhaps this is partially a ploy to get the IP IP rights waived so that they can jump in on the bonanza?
Well, it's interesting because there's a twisted version of what you said that's coming up in either this or the next clip. So let's play part two.
To that end, Lauren, your reporting had been that India seemed to be a success case with the number of new cases going down steadily. What happened? I mean, why was India seemingly caught unprepared?
Yeah, and this just caught everyone by surprise. I mean, in late January, early February, cases were at record lows. The government here declared an an end game to the pandemic. In hindsight, we know it wasn't the end. Everybody went back to normal, though. They stopped social distancing. They weren't so diligent about masks. And science...
That's not true. Just listen to what our producers just said. That's not true.
To say, the virus had not gone. In fact, new variants were lurking, and they've spread at the speed that we've just not seen anywhere else in the world. And I want to say the numbers that we're reporting are staggering, numbers of cases and deaths, but they are almost certainly an undercount because there are shortages of test kits here.
Right.
People are dying at home, unable to get care. Crematoriums are working 24/7. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is facing public anger now that he himself was irresponsible and slow to act. I mean, it was only days ago that he was presiding over huge political rallies with thousands of attendees.
So what's the government doing now?
Well, Modi canceled one of his rallies yesterday to chair an emergency meeting. He did another emergency meeting today. He announced he's lifting customs duties on oxygen imports. He's also widening the eligibility for vaccination starting May 1st. But, it's unclear how they will provide those doses because they've already run out.
Okay, interesting Modi connection. There's a political aspect. The thing that really set me off doubting this was an article from Scientific American titled India's Massive COVID Surge Puzzle Scientists. And you know what's in there? Lots of numbers, 854,000 cases, death numbers, not in the article. So
was this an online article?
Well, yeah, let me just see the date on it.
I guess.
Yeah, Scientific American. And
this India thing just started recently. I'm surprised a magazine that's a monthly or normal publication cycle would have breaking news, but it seems like it was. When I see magazines that don't normally produce breaking news.
Well, I don't know if it was breaking news. It's just an article.
Well, it's kind of breaking news. This is a new thing. We didn't talk about the India last show, which was just a few days ago.
Now they do have the COVAX vaccine there, and India has done 120 million doses. I'm sorry. Oh, that's interesting. Here in this article, they say mostly the Indian-produced version of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. But just when you put it all together, when you have, I'm just going to look at China for a moment. Maybe, possibly, Modi's a problem for them. They're cozied up to Pakistan. So now we get this Modi element. We get the same kind of cases. For all we know, they just jacked up the CT count on the cases. That's possible. People are dying in the hospital every single day. In India, for sure. It's just when you're in there and you see the video and people have their masks down or off and they're crying, they're wailing, and then, let's show 10 bodies burning at a cemetery.
I think, we're familiar with this bullshit. So let's go to clip 3, because I think this may include a little bit about the vaccines.
Provide those doses because they've already run out. This was a point of pride. India is the world's biggest vaccine maker. It had been exporting vaccines, and now it doesn't have enough for its own population. The biggest supplier here is pleading with the United States, with President Biden, to lift an export ban on raw materials, things like test tubes that they need to ramp up production. And so far, the U.S. has not obliged, hasn't done that.
Test tubes?
That's where I had to stop the clip.
We make test tubes?
I doubt it, but it's possible we do. But what's it got to do with the price of bread? What do you need more test tubes for?
Seriously.
It's like, and I'm sure China makes 1 million test tubes at the drop of a hat anytime you want them. And I'm surprised India, which I'm sure has glass manufacturing, can make damn test tubes. But then the reason that I stopped it there it's actually double. There's a new reason, which is one is the concept of this licensing problem that you mentioned earlier, which may have something to do with the way this report's kind of off the deep end here with the test tubes bitching, and to mention that India does make most of the vaccines. Most of the vaccines you get are made in India, which is something to think about. This is very, very sketchy and not explained well. And the way NPR handles these stories, they got the correspondent right there. And then they have the woman who's asking her questions. Why doesn't the woman right now say, what do they need all these more? What do they need more test tubes for? How did they run out? If they're the number one manufacturer of vaccines, isn't it a continuous process? It's not a batch process. It's got to. They have to be coming off the line. That's the way. Am I wrong? There's got to be a line of these little bottles flying out of the place, and now it just stopped. What happened? What changed? That's what I'd be asking.
Yeah, I think we'll get the answers once we start to see, world leaders speak and call for things. If
once they get rid of Modi, that's probably what.
Yeah, that sounds like part of the mission right there.
Yeah, he was a Trumper.
Mm-hmm. That's right, a Trumper.
Right,
big problem.
Let's go to the next.
Do you mind if I ask you, Lauren? What about you? Are you under lockdown there in Mumbai? What about other gatherings? What about moving about the city?
Yeah. So Modi has ruled out a national lockdown countrywide because it's just so painful for India's poor. Last spring, India's economy shrank 24% under lockdown. We actually had cases of poor migrant workers literally starving to death on the roads. So lockdowns are regional, and I am under lockdown now in Mumbai. It's very strict. Police patrol the streets. You can't go out for a walk. And social media has turned into a lifeline for people. People are trying to arrange hospital beds for one another. They're trading phone numbers for doctors. I mean, I spoke a couple hours ago with a friend of mine who has COVID and is at home and has been calling dozens of doctors. Dozens. Like, imagine being sick and no one answers when you call 911. And that is the situation thousands and thousands of Indians are going through right now alone.
Yeah, but that's because India. Come on. Imagine you can't call 911.
Well, that's the India report.
It's positioning. It definitely sounds like positioning.
There's something up.
Yeah. Well, let's look at it from the Pfizer marketing perspective and get a little update on what they're doing, because they're not sitting still. In fact, they have put together quite a nice deal with the country of Scandinavia. Now, as you know, they already have they've made a petri dish out of Israel, and pretty much everyone is vaccinated there, or you get the freedom bracelet of shame. But this is what's going down in Scandinavia.
While more and more Canadians are getting vaccinated right now, it's also important to plan ahead for the future. We've reached an agreement with Pfizer for 35 million booster doses for next year and 30 million in the year after. This deal includes options to add 30 million doses in both 2022 and 2023, and an option for 60 million doses in 2024. Pfizer has been a solid partner for Canada in this fight against COVID.
Hey, it's a good deal, man. He's got options for 2024, Scandinavia.
In 2024. Pfizer has been a solid partner for Canada in this fight against COVID-19, and we're happy to be one of the first countries to secure an agreement with them going forward. These boosters
we're not that dumb.
Be the latest version of the Pfizer vaccine.
Oh yeah, this is new information here. Hold on, about these boosters. The boosters are different.
These boosters will be the latest version of the Pfizer vaccine based on research and
upgrade,
testing, and they will help us keep the virus under control.
So you remember we were joking about, hey, you got your 2 shots and now you have to have something shot into you every year, every 6 months, otherwise you'll deteriorate. So when they say, oh, this is the new vaccine, the new booster, this is the keep them alive thing.
Well, it's possible.
So we
keep them alive booster. You're going to drop dead if you don't get this booster.
We know that we heard one of the TikTok influencers mention that she had received several offers for thousands of dollars to do TikTok videos regarding, you get a little more if you show the jab going into your arm, but it seems like a pretty good program that most influencers would hop on. And since you just mentioned the mass vaccination sites that you drive up with your car, which no one is going to, it only makes sense that this influencer made that her arena.
Guys, I literally just rented a car for the day so that I can get my first vaccine shot. Oh, I'm so excited. I am getting my first vaccine shot. I was eligible starting Monday. I looked, there's one appointment, but it's at a drive-through area only, and I don't have a car. But I was willing to rent a car so that you can stick a needle in my arm to get this vaccine. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
This woman should be shot immediately.
She followed the talking points perfect, so I can get that in my arm. She did everything beautifully. Very well done. I
would assume, I could be wrong, that you could, if in one of those big vaccination lots, you could walk up to the people there. There's nobody there. And just
no, you have to rent a car.
Rent a car.
You have to rent a car. You got to rent a car. If you're doing TikTok,
rent a car. She's full of shit. This girl.
No, she's getting paid to do it. That's why it's horrible. And she's not disclosing it, which is an FTC violation. But okay, we remember the spokeshole for the White.
Where's the FTC, by the way? Because this has been going on TikTok incessantly for at least a month. Or what month? What am I saying?
And why don't you call Jim Jordan? I'm sure he'll talk about it in Congress for hours. Jen Psaki.
He's the Glenn Greenwald of Congress.
Right. Oh, that's a bad one. Jen Psaki lifted a bit of the veil of the $3 billion that the federal government is making available to promote vaccination for those who have high vaxability. Here's a reminder of what she said.
Also investing $3 billion into states and community-based organizations to strengthen vaccine confidence in the highest risk and hardest hit communities. And often people think of that as just black and brown communities, and that is not. As you've noted, that is also conservative communities, white evangelicals. It's a range of communities around the country. We're also we've run PSAs on the deadliest catch. We're engaged with NASCAR and country music TV.
Okay, so let's go check out NASCAR. You recall that NBC got a lot of this money. NBC has a big celebrity star-studded gala either coming or we missed it. I don't know. So what else would you expect for them to continue with their spend, their ad buy? They bought off NASCAR alum, superstar Dale Jarrett. They put him on the track next to a NASCAR with a big NBC logo on it.
Racetracks like this are a very special place, especially for a competitor. All too much, though, for the last year, we've seen these stands be empty at these races. We've got to get back to something that's a lot more of our normal situation, to where we have thousands upon thousands watching these races from the grandstands. They're with your friends, with your family, enjoying this time. How do we go about getting back to that situation? Getting the vaccine. I've done my part. I did the research. I talked with my family. It was some very tough conversations that I had with my family, but I had it done. I know this is the way to get back to a much more normal life, enjoying it to where we can have fans in these stands once again, enjoying what these drivers do as they perform a show and try to win the race.
Ever since I was a kid, I dreamt of this.
Sure, you can't hear it as a driver when you're inside of there, but when you make that pass for the lead and you're trying to win the race, you know what's going on in that grandstand. And there's not a better feeling at the end of a long day to get out as the winner and have those fans cheering you.
He's going to make it. Dale Jarrett's going to win the Daytona 500.
I won the Daytona 500 with my family and friends there. There wasn't a better feeling in my life.
Super job there, Dale. I tell you, I'm really proud of you. You did just exactly what you had to do, like I told you, right?
That's right, exactly like you told me all along, Dad. So do your part. It's safe, it's effective, and it's easy to get.
Mm-hmm. Do the work.
But whoever wrote that made a mistake. They had a mistake in there in the script.
Oh.
I think. And then, of course, he's got this, I think it's a very thick North Carolina accent. But he says that's the greatest, when he won the Daytona 500, it's the greatest feeling in my life until I got the shot.
Yes, that would. Why don't these people ever hire professionals?
Beyond me.
Why don't they hire pros like us?
The message has been going out as, I feel so great because I got the shot. Or I just got the shot, so I feel like $1 million. I just got nothing made me feel better than getting the shot. There was a wide open. It was like the side. It was, a 10-lane highway wide open for that line, and no, they dropped it.
Yeah, I know. And
this is it. By the way, is this the best they can do? Dale Jarrett hasn't raced for 25 years.
Who else was going to take that money and go against pretty much every NASCAR fan there is, whether they get the vaccine or not? NASCAR fans don't like that. They're going to take that shit next to an NBC car, please. I'm sure they have the rights to the race, but come on. And it doesn't really matter, people, because when you're in the seats, you're going to be muzzled.
And now there's a clear divide over who is and isn't vaccinated. At Dodger Stadium this weekend, fans with proof can sit in a fully vaccinated section.
Woo!
But they have to wear a mask on game day.
And it's not just the East Coast, West Coast. What?
I had somebody argue with me, well, I think, I have to have one of these passports to get on an airplane because I don't want unvaccinated people sitting in the airplane with me. And the response to that is, if that vaccine is so great, what do you give a shit? Who sits next to you?
Yeah.
You're vaccinated. Why do you care?
Unbelievable.
No one has an answer for that.
Well, they certainly don't have an answer at Oracle Park either.
Oracle Park is starting to welcome back even more fans. And there's a special perk for those who are fully vaccinated, their own seating section.
Woo!
Dr. Peter Chin Hong is a professor of medicine and infectious disease at UCSF. He says even though all the people in the section will be vaccinated, there's still a risk.
People may feel a little bit more invincible, which is not the case. The more noses and mouths you bring together, even though they're vaccinated.
He says it's not the same as being in a small group of
And I think we also have the Los Angeles.
And now there's a clear divide over who is and isn't vaccinated.
Wait,
at Dodger.
I'm sorry, I just did that one. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You're going to be in a special section with your mask.
Yeah, with the mask.
I mean,
which is ludicrous. It is ludicrous. Take pictures. You're all vaccinated, but you're still, and you're feeling. Let's get the three together.
Yeah.
You're vaccinated. You're the 14 days out. You're vaccinated 14 days out. You feel invincible. You feel that you can beat the world. Wear a mask. Mask up.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, the bigger problem, of course, is the vaccine hesitancy. As we now see supply outstripping demand, NBC Nightly News spent some time on it.
As more attention now turns to vaccinating children, our Stephanie Goss tells us about something called parent hesitancy.
Oh, no! Or how about parent protection? No, hesitancy. Thanks, NBC.
It is likely a matter of time before children are eligible for the COVID vaccine. How? Will their parents be ready to vaccinate them?
Would you consider yourself an anti-vaxxer?
No, absolutely not. Like I said, my children have been vaccinated.
Against other diseases, but Ashley Poindexter-Tarmy says her girls won't be getting the COVID vaccine. Not yet.
I don't feel safe enough. If this had been on the market for 10 to 15 years and I had more data, then I would feel more comfortable.
A recent study showed more than 25% of parents do not intend to vaccinate their kids.
It is not an emergency in the pediatric population.
Among them, registered nurse Jessica Brandis, who is herself vaccinated against COVID.
I have got a 1-year-old and I have a 2.5-year-old. And I'm very pro-vaccine, but I am not pro the COVID-19 vaccine.
You know what is missing from this report, I just realized? Nowhere, I think, do they mention that the emergency use authorization was for 18 years and older, and Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are all lobbying the FDA to lower that age. I think they should at least disclaim that and say that, there hasn't necessarily been additional testing or additional study. I mean, these were big trials, right? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And I don't think they've done that with children. At least I haven't seen the reports, but they're asking for this exception to go even lower in age.
You got to move this product.
Vaccine for my own children.
Because children are much less at risk from COVID.
As of right now, the science shows that kids are not spreading it or carrying it.
But herd immunity may depend on their vaccinations.
Children do transmit. So return to normalcy, especially for children, would require that we vaccinate children as well.
An argument that doesn't
throw in some douchebag.
Resonate with Ashley, who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
What was your reaction to the news that Johnson & Johnson was put on hold?
I felt like I was right back at the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm, there it is.
Sorry.
Scared you?
Yeah, a lot.
She has concerns about the pace of vaccine development.
They should find comfort in the fact that vaccine development is proceeding cautiously and systematically, and the evaluation of these vaccines in children is very systematic.
Ashley is following the vaccine trials in children closely.
Right.
I'm an adult. I can make my own choices about how I feel I can put myself in harm's way. With your children, you're more protective.
For now, she says, she will need more convincing. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
There you go. So trials.
Hey, Stephanie, I'm going to send a message out to Stephanie Gosk. Try to make these reports a little longer.
Anyway, we know what the real problem is. It's obvious. Come on.
It comes as the fight against the coronavirus may have reached a crossroads. Long waits for shots are now giving way to empty vaccination sites, as vaccine supply is expected to soon outpace demand. Some mass vaccination sites are now allowing walk-ins and drive-ups for anyone.
We're about at the point where any American who wants to get a vaccine
will lasso them,
can get a vaccine. And that's what you need to get to that 80% threshold for when life can resume back to normal.
This is an interesting. Now, you just heard that from it sounded like an Asian doctor. He said, well, you need the vaccine to get to herd immunity. I just believe that to be not true. And this guy is also saying, well, you need the 80%. He's kind of saying you need to vaccinate 80% of the population. But isn't it herd immunity is when 80% has antibodies? It doesn't have to be from vaccinations, correct?
Yeah, actually, you're right. In fact, there's an interesting report. I think I clipped it too, which I think is worth playing.
And meanwhile, let me look up the herd, because, they changed the herd immunity definition, we know, or at least dictionary.com did. Let's see, herd immunity. Never click the first one, Curry. That's the ad. Here, Merriam-Webster. I'm sure they're woke. Reduction in the risk of infection with a specific communicable disease that occurs when a significant proportion of the population has become immune to infection as because of previous exposure or vaccination. There you go. But this guy says,
we're about at the point where any American who wants to get a vaccine can get a vaccine. And that's what you need to get to that 80% threshold for when life can resume back to normal.
More than 135 million Americans, 40% of the population, have received at least one shot. But vaccinations are lagging in the Deep South and parts of the Midwest. Nationwide, an 11% week-over-week drop. Some areas are refusing vaccine shipments. More than 60 of the 105 counties in Kansas turned them down this week because they would go unused.
If you look at the lowest vaccination rates in the country right now, there are overwhelmingly red states. And I believe a lot of that is due to vaccine hesitancy and refusal among us. All the polls say conservative and Republican groups.
Orange man bad. Yeah, of course. The Republicans are going to kill the country. Kill ya.
They're a bunch of murderers.
Yeah. Good Morning America, or America This Morning, they even had a map.
And now another potential problem in the race to vaccinate. Thousands of appointments going unfilled. The U.S. now averaging fewer than 3 million doses per day, the lowest number in weeks. The areas of darker blue on this map show where Americans were resisting the vaccine the most.
Which was interesting, because why would you do blue instead of red? I thought that was an odd choice.
To foul up.
Yeah, someone made a mistake.
Details. I have a clip. I want you to play. This is Jose Gupta, the guy on CNN, the
not Jose,
the doctor. Isn't it Jose? I thought it was Jose.
No, it's not Jose. Now you've confused me. What the hell is
it's
the guy?
Sanjay
Gupta. Jose.
So Jose comes on.
From now on, he will forever be Jose Gupta. That's
Jose
for sure.
Gupta.
Yeah.
We'll now discuss the booster shot that we talked about a little while ago.
Recently, there was a news article that basically talked about the study that showed there is great protection from the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines at 6 months. There's still 90% protection, basically, is what the study showed. I think some people took that to mean that that was your protection. That's how long the vaccine lasts. No, what that really meant was we have data now up to 6 months, and at that point, we can sort of say, here's how much protection you still have, which was significant. It could be that a year, 6 months from now, a year from total, you could still have significant protection. And frankly, that is the likelihood, but we just don't know yet. The way to know how long something lasts in this case is with the passage of time. So as more days go on and we collect more data, we're going to have a better idea. Some good news potentially, though. We went back and looked at some of the SARS data from the coronavirus from 2003, and they found that even 17 years later, there was significant protection if people had been naturally infected. So people who got infected in 2003, even in 2020, they still had evidence of significant protection. So potentially good news there. Again, we'll see how long these vaccines last. We'll see the impact of the variants on all this, because if there's a variant that occurs that makes the virus so different that your current antibodies aren't as protective, that could accelerate the need for a booster or third shot. But we're not at that point yet. But that's obviously where a lot of people are focusing their attention.
No, not your buddy up there in Canada. He's all in on the idea.
Yeah.
Now, I want to mention something that's, again, not discussed. The coronavirus is marked by these spike proteins.
Yeah.
The mRNA vaccine is designed to have your own body create these spike proteins, which seems sketchy, but okay, that's the way it's supposed to work. Create the spike proteins, and then you develop antibodies against the spike proteins. What kind of variant does a COVID or a coronavirus have to get to so the spike proteins don't exist? Because the whole method of a coronavirus, the whole mechanism of a coronavirus, no matter how it's varied, whether it's got, an AIDS link in there or whatever it is, it's still going to have the spike proteins, just like the common cold. If this vaccine works at all, it should knock all of them out, no matter what. The variant shouldn't make a difference at all. But nobody even mentions this.
Are you a doctor now? Are you a doctor?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Well, if we were on any type of platform that was run by Silicon Valley, this would be over. The show would be over. We'd be done with it because it would be fact-checked out of existence. And it turns out that factcheck.org, which is used by, I think, in a conjunction of the Fact Check Network, it's a part of that, which is what Facebook uses, Twitter uses. I think Twitter uses them as well. Richard E. Besser, who is he's the CEO of the Robert Johnson Wood Foundation. And they happily donated about $50,000 and, interestingly enough, some nice Johnson & Johnson stock. And he was the former director of CDC, and that's now funding factcheck.org's SciCheck COVID-19 vaccination fact-check division. So we've got the pharmaceutical people, and I have no real problem with the former CDC director being involved in that, but taking money from pharmaceutical donors, isn't that conflict of interest?
Well, here's the way if I'm on that side of the fence, I'd say it's not a conflict of interest at all. We're trying to provide the public with good information, and we would be the ones who would know.
Yes. And
how is that a conflict of interest?
Well, you're getting paid. So maybe they don't want you to say something bad about them.
Oh, don't be silly.
Okay, I know. I'm a conspiracy theorist. QAnon.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
There's no way that's ever going to happen.
Let's go back to ABC this morning.
Turning to the pandemic, demand for the COVID vaccine is dropping across the country. A new study claims the U.S. is now reaching a tipping point when vaccine supply will exceed demand. Doctors say it could make achieving herd immunity more difficult. The Biden administration is now offering tax credits to companies so that they can give their employees paid time off to get the vaccine.
We're getting to the harder stages of vaccination here. For the most part, people who are very excited about getting the vaccine have gotten it. And so we've got left are people who either have a little bit of hesitancy or who are willing to get the vaccine but have logistical barriers to doing so. Interventions like the one the Biden administration put into place can be helpful because there are a lot of people who want to get the vaccine, can't take a day off of work, either for the vaccine itself or for the possible side effects.
I mean, they're going to have to do something about the messaging because it's leaking out. Although Facebook did just delete a 120,000 member group where people were posting stories of adverse reactions to the vaccines. But no, that had to go. Jimmy Dore tweeted this. Poor Jimmy. I had my second Moderna shot last Saturday. I am still experiencing flu-like symptoms, body aches, mild headaches, and waves of exhaustion that come out of nowhere. Should I be concerned that this is lasting for a week? You should see the replies. The replies to that tweet are hilarious. It's probably equal. People are saying, I just have to read some of these because it's too funny. Yeah. You got people telling him, like totally freaking out. Here, I don't think you need to be concerned, but I do think you should be thankful you never caught the virus because your immune system may not have been up to the task. Yeah. Hey, Jimmy.
By the way, that's a genius response. That's like a big pharma response.
That's Steve.
Think about that. That's a great response.
Let's see who. Oh, well, that's Steve Cox, independent candidate for Congress, California District 39. Hey, Jimmy, after my second Moderna shot, I had the same thing, plus low SpO2 levels, shortness of breath, and fatigue. Yesterday, exactly 3 weeks to the day of my second shot, I've now been diagnosed with Bell palsy, and I'm on the cocktail. So that's good. What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. People just posting that what's going on with them.
This outrageous is out of control. And the fact that Facebook would take these people aren't being dishonest. Nobody's going to say I have Bell's palsy out of the blue if they don't have it.
No. Gosh, man.
By the way, for people out there want to know, Bell's palsy, which is a frightening thing to get, you will usually wake up with it. It's something, a nerve goes out or something happens on one side of your face, and the whole side is just numb and can't move. And so unless you can correct this problem quick, which Glenn Greenwald did, by the way, because he had a horrible case of Bell's palsy.
It can stick.
It can't stick. And so what you have is one side of your face is just sags like about a half inch.
Yeah.
And you can see people that have had it and one side of their face is sagging, and it's really and there's no real cure. I was
going to say, what do you
exercise the
face?
What do you do?
What do you do to fix that?
Like they put electrical stimulation to keep the muscles going. There's all kinds of things, but there's no real cure. It's just you have to be. I don't know how.
Hey, Adam and John.
Got over it, so.
Adam and John, my sister's friend, works as an MRI technician. Earlier this year, MRI technicians were seeing what looked like a lot of positive breast cancer results. So, painful biopsies were ordered, and they kept coming back negative. After a while, they realized that people who had had the vaccine were getting false positives from the MRI technicians. Essentially, the vaccine made it look like they had breast cancer. My understanding is that the MRI technicians now know what to look for, so they don't order so many unnecessary painful breast cancer biopsies.
Ouch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the worst. And this one... Oh, this is another good response. If you're thinking of, from a friend of mine, so take that for what it's worth from this producer. If you're thinking of taking the Pfizer vaccine, I have close secondhand information from someone who has seen two people go into psychotic episodes 3 days after the second dose. Both patients are elderly. Neither had a history with psychosis. This is third-hand info for me, so take it for what it's worth, only passing it on. I think everyone who takes the vaccine has some form of psychosis. For sure. Whether you think you're invincible or whether you think you're crazy. Yeah. I mean, either way, there's some psychosis there.
I don't have a clip, but there was a news story last night in the Bay Area, and I think it may be similar to what you just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
some guy, older guy, and they don't talk about the vaccine or anything else, but this guy shot up. He was just in his house by himself, as he has a wife and kids, but he's older. He's like in the 70s, I think. And he shot up the house. He started shooting every gun he had in the house and every round of ammunition. He was there for an hour. The cops couldn't get in there. Just kept shooting at the wall that was going outside, and nobody else got hurt or anything. But the house is just shot to shit. And the guy claims they locked him up in the nut house. The guy claims he saw a smiley face that was on the wall coming, that was threatening him.
Wow.
And so he just emptied every load he had. And you have pictures of this place. It's just a wreck.
That's bad.
Wrecked this guy's house. So maybe, I mean, it sounds like it's right in that same league.
So it was 2 weeks ago that Governor Whitmer was crying that we need more vaccines, and the government wouldn't give her more vaccines. No, we're not going to play favorites with states. Even though you're a Democrat, we're not going to do that. Just lock everybody down again. 2 weeks later,
the vaccine now easier to get than ever before. No appointments needed at many locations in Detroit. But take a look. Unfortunately, people are not showing up. It is a huge concern for the health department.
We respect everyone's decision whether they want to get vaccinated or not. And I'm hoping that they will get the vaccine, not only for themselves, but for their family and for their community.
Today, during our time at TCF, one person, just one, came in to get vaccinated.
They encouraged me to come down, so I'm coming down to take it.
Eric says he's here for a simple reason, not only to protect himself, but his loved ones.
To protect myself and to protect others, people that hang around my family.
Starting today, between 9 and 5, these are the different locations you can go to in the city of Detroit to get your vaccine. No appointment needed. Woo! The mayor's team will be taking a close look at these numbers during the next few weeks, and as you can see, they are already thinking ahead. There's the possibility that there could be more work to bring the vaccine directly to people within their own neighborhoods. We will keep you updated.
Vaccine squad here. Open up.
Door to door. That's
Open
it.
up.
That's the way to go.
Open up.
Hello. Did you get your vaccine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our producers came into what airport? JFK from Schiphol, from Amsterdam. Yesterday, I flew from Schiphol to JFK after border control and collected my luggage. An employee of New York State handed me a New York State Traveler Health Form. She said that I needed to fill it out and give it back to them. I have flown several transatlantic trips during the pandemic and familiar with that form and the procedure. However, yesterday I noticed two new questions. The first asks about travelers' vaccination status, as in, and I'm looking at the form here, when you're vaccinated, 2 shots from Moderna, Pfizer, 1 shot from Johnson & Johnson, what's the date? And the second asks details of a COVID-19 diagnosis. These questions made me so angry that I told the New York State employee, I refuse to answer these questions. My medical record is private and none of your business. And I received zero pushback about that.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
I have a copy of that form.
Yep.
It's actually used around the country because, as we'll hear shortly, Sir Onimus of Dogpatch kindly sent me a copy. Ooh. I will post it in the next newsletter, and I will maybe post it on the No Agenda Mastodon
very nice
social network. It's a 2-sider, and it does have a lot of questions about COVID.
This is a short clip. I'm not quite sure what this was about.
But many people are still eager to get the shot, even in the most unlikely places. In Chicago, this funeral home giving out doses.
People are not hesitant about it, at least not what I'm hearing. It's like, where can I get it?
You don't have to go very far. Just come on. Why don't you come straight here? Also, how can you do that? Aren't the funeral homes overwhelmed with dead bodies and there's trucks outside and makeshift morgues and everything?
Good point.
No. Just come on down, everybody, to Fred's Funeral Home. And by the way, according to the CDC, you don't need no mask no more.
Also tonight, the CDC director says her agency is looking into changing its guidance on masks, especially outdoors, and among people who have been vaccinated, as more scientists say the risk of transmitting the virus outside is minimal.
No.
No, you're kidding me.
No.
Hey, I like the idea of the funeral home as a one-stop shop.
It should say, COVID Vax one-stop shop. And you can fill out a will on the way in.
Yep, there you go.
That's how we'd run that show.
Definitely fill out the will first.
Curry and Dvorak COVID funeral services. Need some work. So, the Canada is really quite startling. And we had dinner with the former New York banker and his wife last night, and they were surprised. The kid's actually in Spain, one of them, and it seems pretty lax down in the south of Spain. I said, but you have no idea what's going on in the rest of Europe. People are still curfews, locked down like bugs. And I said, have you even looked at Canada? And I don't think they really pay too much attention to it.
Canada's out of control.
It is. We have a email here from one of our producers who's working with the Red Cross. He's at the phone bank for the Canadian quarantine hotels. He says people are not being told that if they cannot afford to book a 3-day stay at a hotel when entering the country, they will be sent to a, quote, quarantine facility, which is just another hotel, but instead it's assisted by the Red Cross. Here they will wait for 3 days for their test results and another 3 days, sometimes more, to receive a call from the quarantine officer who works for public health. This is if they have tested negative. Negative. You hear me? Negative. 6 days. Lockdown. Negative. They do not have a direct line to reach this person, and neither do we. The food they are getting comes from a catering company. We do not know what is being served. I get many complaints a day that people have received a cold meal or no meal at all. Up until the other day, there weren't even any Red Cross staff at one of the hotels for us to communicate with, only public health. This is not a humanitarian effort by the Red Cross. This is an arbitrary detention. Red Cross has been hired by the government to soften any blowback they may receive from understandable angry people whose freedom of movement is being infringed. I will be handing in my 2 weeks' notice very shortly as things are only getting worse. I cannot sit idly by as this goes on. While the money was nice, no amount of money is worth being part of this insanity. Side note, the vast majority of the people coming back to Canada at the moment are from India. Why, I do not know, but they are flooding into Toronto and Winnipeg. Well, I think we know. It's to infect you. That's why. So we can point to them. Exactly say, Modi, let them go. We have our weekly Oregon hospital Rona report from the 450-bed regional hospital. By the way, they've stopped reporting staff infection numbers, so that's a positive. This hospital is in high-risk Rona zone because of all the supposed Rona cases, writes our stooge. Oregon has 4 risk levels, low, medium, high, and extreme. We only recently came down from extreme. It will be a long time before we come down again. Look at our surge. Also note the masks were not required at the hospital during early Rona, thanks to shortages. I've added up I did the whole graph here. So here's the latest stats. ICU, 99% full, which is target capacity. Hospital overall, 93%, which is a little below target capacity for regular hospital business. And he says, note the above numbers reflect our real capacity. None of our overflow or surge areas are even open currently. Total number, COVID-19 admitted, 1,347. Total discharged and recovered, 1,180. Total number of COVID deaths, 127.
What was the first number?
Total number of COVID-19 cases admitted, 1,347. And 1,180 discharged and recovered.
All right. Well, sounds reasonable.
Sounds very reasonable. It sounds like the flu. I hate to say it. I hate to sound like a Republican.
Oh, no, there's no flu cases anymore.
Well, there's that. So let's just stick on Calgary for Canada for a second. Do you remember the Easter service being held in the church, and the cops came by to basically shut him down? And the preacher just yelled at him, called them Nazis, and told them to go shove it.
Good clip.
So they came back. They came back during service again. This is a shorter clip than the first time, but they came back. The same lady, the same cops with guns, with fully uniformed. 2 of them with SWAT helmets on. And here is the good preacher.
So if we could come in and do the cave of Adullam is not a registered organization, and this is not street church, so you have it wrong. You gotta do your homework first before you come, okay? You have it wrong You have a wrong organization.
Okay, that is for you, Arta. I will send it to you by email too, if you'd like. I just wanted to be able to come today and then at least explain the order, serve the order, and then we can stand at the back.
No, you can contact. No. You can contact my lawyer. Okay, my lawyer takes care of this. I'm not interested to listen to any word you have to say. I do not cooperate with the Gestapo. I do not talk to the Nazis. You came in your uniforms like thugs. That's what you are. Brown shirts of Adolf Hitler. You are Nazi, Gestapo, communist, fascist. I do not cooperate with Nazis. Talk to my lawyer. You're not allowed here. You're not welcomed here. And I'm not going to cooperate with Gestapo like you, okay? So is that fair enough for you? Talk to my lawyer.
I just wanted to explain a little bit about the order.
I'm not interested.
I just wanted to at least have a conversation.
I'm not interested in talking. You see, this is what the Gestapo is doing. You're coming to the place of
He's about to lose it.
To intimidate and to harass. So you can make an appointment. Lady, listen to me. You can make an appointment another day.
Okay.
You Gestapo. Another day. Not this day. Not this day.
Okay.
Not during the church.
Okay.
You understand? Make an appointment.
And she backs off.
Okay.
Walking backwards.
See you later on. Have a good day.
And they're walking backwards.
You are sick. That's what you are. And rightfully so, you change your uniforms to black because you're exactly acting like the Gestapo of old.
Yes. Yes.
Change your uniforms to black.
Yeah. I love that guy. Hallelujah.
Yeah, he definitely has the point of view.
One of our producers did a big commercial for the forthcoming Las Vegas reopening of a hotel there. And our producer gave me a little rundown of the bonanza when it comes to COVID in entertainment and production. So this you'll like this because, man, again, we're missing out on an exit strategy. Here's an example of how much money is being made in the COVID bonanza. Commercial we did had a $3 million budget. So in order to do this, not only is there testing every 2 days, we have a COVID compliance officer, a COVID coordinator, a PPE kits for every crew member, which are $20 per kit, which is a face mask, gloves, and small sanitizer of $20. Mandatory PCR test. They won't accept any other kind of testing. Has to be PCR. And there's a hall monitor who walks around set, tells you to put your mask on, and you're not 6 feet apart. Long story short, $3 million budget, $300,000 spent on COVID testing and personnel. No one got sick. 10% of the budget. It's a bonanza.
It's a waste of money.
It's a bonanza. It's nuts. And while in central London Saturday, thousands, of course, once again took to the streets protesting the lockdown. In Northern Ireland, they tightened it up a little bit and have added some additional issues. No dancing or live music will be allowed when pubs reopen outdoor areas. No dancing. It's like Footloose. You can't dance because the Rona,
no dancing, no singing either, by the
way. When you dance, the Rona jumps off you onto other people. Oh, geez. The Troll Room says it was almost 1 million people.
The nocturnal Rona.
Troll Room says it was almost 1 million people in London. Yeah, it's not like that was reported anywhere. Just a couple of YouTube videos or Twitter stuff.
Oh, none of this stuff gets reported. No. It's really pathetic.
It is. And I think that's about all that I've got for the Rona today. I mean,
maybe I have one left over.
We have vaccine hesitancy, that we know, and it's Republicans' fault. So that's why the logical conclusion is when we're going to start seeing people die, as they do. And it'll be blamed on Republicans, and there'll be calls for the governors to say stuff, and they're just going to continue with this idiocy. They have no shame.
Well, let's see. You have the J&J's back National Public Radio report on the return of the vaccine. I don't know if it's anything that we haven't discussed already, but let's get it
short. Let's take a look.
Some states have restarted distribution of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine now that federal health authorities gave it the green light. Julie Chang from member station KQED has more from San Francisco.
On Friday, the FDA and CDC lifted the recommended pause on the use of the J&J vaccine, but Bay Area counties have yet to restart distribution of the single-dose shot. Meanwhile, down south, Los Angeles County told vaccine providers they may resume administering J&J doses if they provide an updated fact sheet to recipients.
Julie Chang from member station KQED.
What do you think is going to happen now? Now that the vaccine hesitancy, the spell has been broken, and people do not want to get it anymore. They're worried.
They screwed up.
So what are they going to panic? Are they and what are they going to do? Besides tell us that
they're going to do some sort of a reset.
A great one? A great reset?
No, not the great one. But they're going to have to do some sort of a reset, and that means because they've got too much vaccine, they got to get somebody to take this stuff. I think the report I saw this morning that I didn't clip because it was too late, but the one I saw this morning where they're starting to soft pedal everything and it was a mistake. They're going to start to backpedal on, well, we shouldn't have taken it off the market. We're just too cautious. This is the way. This would be the messaging I'd use or employ. Because you don't use, you employ.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we screwed up when we took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine off the market. It turns out to be the safest of the group. It was an abundance. They have to use this term, and they've already used it. Abundance of caution. That's how much we care about the public and these vaccines. If there's one little thing, we'll take it off the market. But now it turns out that we shouldn't have taken that one off. We shouldn't have taken it. We can't take it. They're unbelievably safe, these things. It was a screw up. And they're going to have to go with that. And they just pound that home for a couple of days and get people back on track. It may be already too late.
But. I mean, isn't the typical way to shame people into it? Isn't that what they're much better at? And to say, first of all, I think that it would be best to shame the red states. Just shame them. It doesn't matter what the numbers are.
Well,
just
I think you've already played the clip showing that that's what they're doing already.
Right. So, but wouldn't they just continue with that? I mean, I don't think they can go back and say, we were too cautious. No, I think that
they're
going to
have to
past.
do something because this bad message that went out there has poisoned the well. Well, they have to, pump the water out and put some new water in.
If I know these folks and they are old school and they are behind the times on marketing, I think they'll try some shit at the Oscars tonight. Maybe they'll vaccinate Robert De Niro on stage or something.
Wow.
I mean, that's where I'd be looking for it.
No, that would be dynamite. We'll see. We're going to watch the Oscars if we can stomach it. I want to watch to see who wins the best director award. See if that Chinese woman gets. This is Hollywood. This is a turning point for Hollywood.
Wait a minute. What Chinese woman for what movie?
For Nomadland.
Oh, did anyone watch that?
I've watched it. It's dynamite. It's an excellent movie. It's on. I think it's on.
I'm sure.
Hulu.
I was going to say. I'm sure it's not from a traditional studio, which will piss everybody off.
No, it's Searchlight. It's not a slouch.
It's a real studio. Okay, yeah.
But it's it's just small. It's one of the little spin-off things that they get to run. They position themselves as independent spirit award type movie.
I'm guaranteeing a 0.8 rating in the demo.
Oh, the rating, forget it. And you think there won't be an asterisk? I don't know.
I think they'll do a 0.8, and they'll probably do. I'm going to give them 5.5 million viewers total. Let me just write that down. That's
put me down for 5.6.
Okay. What is this? Price is right.
Now, let's go back to this woman. This woman Zhang, I think is her first or last name, and she won. She's won everything. And then Nomadland's been sweeping.
What's her name? Chang?
I don't know. You can look it up, or somebody in the chat room will know. They won Best Movie for the Golden Globes. They won Independent Spirit. They won a BAFTA. They're just taking everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we played the clip. We played a clip about her about a month ago after she one, and the Chinese thought she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Then they dug up an old, you'll remember this. They dug up an old thing she said in 2013 where she said the Chinese government lies.
Yeah, right. I do remember that. Chloe, here's her name. Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao.
And you can play that old clip, but it's not important. I just reiterate. So the Chinese, once they got a hold of this old tweet, they decided that she's been erased from all Chinese history.
So she can't win. She cannot win if she's anti-CCP. Then that won't do.
So here's the issue. She's been winning everything, but now we got the Oscars. And we also know that Hollywood and the Chinese are in bed together because of all the money they have. And, the Hollywood's just about the money. What's going to happen if she doesn't win? But meanwhile, there's the old school, the people that are in the academy, these old farts, a lot of them, that don't like China necessarily. They don't like the way things are going. Are they going to give enough votes to get her the award? This is a big deal.
Wait a minute. Award. Are you telling me that the Academy Awards are done by a fair vote? Please. And actually held in that suitcase?
The whole thing is rigged and this bull crap.
Yeah.
But they have to make a decision. Are they going to give it to her, or the one out they have is the Chicago 7 movie, which I haven't seen it, but by all accounts, it's not very good. But it's, but it's Black Lives Matter. It's kind of, you could give it,
there you go. That'll do it.
You could give them the award, and they don't feel so bad about not giving it to the movie that should get the award, which is Nomadland. And it's Nomadland's a good movie. I've only seen a couple of movies recently. Nomadland, I saw that Godzilla film, which is just the worst movie in history.
CCP's, Chinese Communist Party's top propaganda body, orders state media outlets to downplay upcoming Oscars ceremony, according to the Epoch Times.
So that means that they're worried that she's going to win it all.
She's going to win, yeah.
Well, this will be interesting.
This is very interesting. I'm glad you're on this. Hollywood's China problem unfolds in ongoing Chloe Zhao controversy. Ooh, this will be fun. This will be fun to watch. Who's hosting? Do they even have a host, or what are they doing?
No, they're going to just say, who knows? I bet you it'd be great if she comes on and she gets the award and she goes, China is asshole. That would be great, but I'm not expecting it.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage to say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in Chloe Zhao. Ladies and gentlemen, John C. Dvorak.
In the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. In the morning, all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, the dames and the knights out there.
In the morning to the trolls in the troll room. Hey, trolls, how you doing over there? Let me stick your hands up, will you? Let me see. Let me count y'all. 2042. Good to have you here on this Sunday morning. That is noagendastream.com, where we have tons of trolls trolling along, having a good time, yelling at us, also handing off good one-liners, some fun information, but just generally trolling. And you can join in for free. noagendastream.com. You log into the chat. You can listen to the live stream. It's 24/7. There's tons of great podcasts on there. And I'm going to deputize some people here. Darren probably. We need to get every single one of these shows that's on noagendastream.com get them podcasting 2.0 certified. Use some of the apps you find at newpodcastapps.com so we can start spreading the value for value with little bits of Bitcoin. It'll be great. Let's push that hard. And, of course, we like to thank our artists. Actually, I want to mention noagendasocial.com first. We have registration open. And people are signing up, and they're very happy they're in. I think we have probably another 500 to go before we lock it down again, and then we'll be purging in a certain amount of time. But that is our non-algo social network. It federates, so you can join in the conversation from anywhere. If you already have a Mastodon account somewhere else, you can follow at John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com or at Adam Curry at noagendasocial.com and join in the conversation. And it just works. It works elegantly, beautifully, because no one's trying to get you to stick around and yell at someone else because the algo keeps pushing something in your face. No, the arguments scroll down, and by the next day, you've forgotten all about it. It's beautiful. Now, to thank the artist for episode 1340, that was titled The Poke. It is the one and only Darren O'Neill who came in with the perfect piece of art with the windmills surrounding the entire continental United States, which is a glimpse of the future, depending on how things go with the Green New Deal. We had no other choice, I don't think, did we? We just went straight for it. In fact, I went to the bathroom and went to pee, old man stuff, and I came back and you said, well, there's really only one. And I think I agree with you.
Well, there was only one. That was the problem.
Yeah. What was the
there's other stuff that it was possible, but no.
Yeah, I appreciated the Love is Lit. It was pretty. There was a lot of Earth Day stuff, which was way too busy. Just too busy. And that was not even that many submissions, really, when you look at it. Oh, yeah, we had an OJ. Yeah, no, it was a very typical Darren O'Neill piece that just works. You look at it, you go, that's it. It works. Thank you, Darren. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com. You can see them flipping through if you use one of those newfangled apps. You can see the art change. We use many pieces of art during the show. Dreb Scott does that expertly, and we appreciate all of his help. Now, let us thank our executive and associate executive producers as part of our value for value model. All we ask you to do is determine if you got any value from listening to this program. If you did, turn it into a number that's meaningful to you and send it to us. And we love thanking the people who come in with the notes and the exec and associate executive producer donations. And we kick it off today with our good old friend, as teased, Sir Anonymous of Dogpatch and Lower Slobovia. Go, ladies and gentlemen.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. I've got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind.
That's right, PBR alert. Tasty.
Yes, Anonymous came in with $1,444. That's your number, 1444.
Yeah. And again,
I hope everyone he writes a note. He writes these notes. I hope everyone of the book had a great Passover and Easter. Ramadan Kareem to all the producers. Thank you to all producers for their gifts that make this long-running experiment of value for value so successful.
Yes.
He's thanking you all for supporting this show.
That's right.
Tech, art, music, clips, letters, remarkable searchable media database, and financial support are just a few of the things that make this program outstanding. We cannot overlook the courage, foresight, and persistence by John and Adam to strive for independent analysis and delivering an outstanding product, a show after show and year after year. Offering my feet in the air report after 3 months overseas and tens of thousands of air miles, countless PCR tests before boarding flights or upon arrival from select untrustworthy countries. I must report that my travel experience was generally normal. No quarantines in any country. Hello, Canada. No quarantines in any country, and some travel between countries within the GCC, Gulf Coast countries.
Yes.
Was without PCR requirements. In other words, you could float around the Middle East, no problem. Flights were generally crowded. Everything was open, although one city did introduce a lockdown as I was leaving. All testing required for flights was professional, organized, and in several locations, the medical staff came to your home and texted your certificate within 24 hours. Home.
Yeah, home. Yeah, it's not just a test. You know what those swabs contain? Vaccine.
Tests were around $100, and I had no side effects from many swabs up my nose. Vaccines were available, including Chinese vaccines, but only the wealthy were taking them. I saw no outcry if you uncovered your nose, and most masks served as much as a mouth or chin cover, except to upscale locations where everyone was cooperating.
Hello, Austin. Do you hear that? The rest of the world is laughing at you.
All the well-known treatments were available OTC in pharmacies. You found that to be the case in Mexico.
That's right.
To be clear, I was not in the EU. Yes, you were in the Middle East. Just to reiterate. Adam, I did see IQOS displays around the...
IQOS, that's the the Philip Morris vape that they're trying to bring in to kill other vapes?
IQOS displays around the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. They use glass and white lacquered displays in upscale grocery stores and malls. In Dubai, in the Dubai Mall, which is, I've been there, it's
a huge
dynamite. The IQOS store is next to the Apple store, and it was hard to differentiate them as you walk by. And both in both design and clientele.
Yeah.
When I returned to the U.S. Recently, was an affidavit indicating I did not have symptoms or had recovered from COVID. Global entry worked fine. And by the way, that's the paperwork that he sent me a copy of, which I'll put in the newsletter.
Good.
Global entry worked fine. Long trip, short letter. Will return to broader traveling as countries reduce restrictions for typhoid anonymous flyers like me. No jingles, no time.
Hey, Dog Patch, thank you very much. And stay safe.
Harvey Cody's next on the list from Houston, Texas with $1,000. There's no note from a Harvey Cody.
I couldn't find anything from Harvey either, which is odd because it seems like he's an instant.
Await his instructions.
Okay, good.
Sir John Barron of South London in London, UK, $700. And he writes, after my last note, where I was upgraded to Baron of South London and requested massive karma, I am happy to report that it worked. I was offered 2 jobs and recently started working again after a long search. Just wanted to say thanks.
Don't thank us. This is how it works.
Don't thank us. We got nothing to do with it. We just
karmic nature of the producers.
Please could you give karma to the entire No Agenda family, as I'm sure there are a lot of producers out there who are down on their luck and could use the karma. Hopefully this will go some way in helping them out.
Yeah, you bet. It's a very nice gesture, Sir John.
You've got karma.
Francis Hest, 666 from Ivyland, Pennsylvania. Again, I don't have a note from him.
No.
But we have to check this out. I got a note from Jonathan Hess from show 1337 where he, but this is from 1337.
Oh, no, that's old.
And he's in Deutschland. This is a different Hess. More likely a Hess in Deutschland than here. But the problem with this note is it says support for show 1337 knighthood, and I don't know that he was knighted. Or there was a birthday call out for his smoking hot Sonia, who needs a birthday shout out for her 36th birthday on the April 13th. Now we're going to look into this, but I think if nothing else, we should at least give hot Sonia, since she's named Sonia and she's hot.
Okay.
Put her on the birthday list for now.
Okay, so we'll say hot Sonia. Hot Sonia.
36.
Sonia.
April 13th.
36 on April 13th. Okay. All right. Well, at least we've made an effort, and I'm sure. Well,
he may end up being, if he hasn't been knighted, which is possible he has. But the problem is that the note was not opened because it has a different color, and he never put donation in the subject line, just support for show.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of my finding that out of the blue is nil. You have to imagine, I get about 500 emails a day.
Yeah.
And so I have to code. You have to put coded subject lines, or otherwise, I will open email, but not everything. For Adam, for example, I actually
you just delete them, don't you? Just like
I just delete Adams.
Delete.
Actually, for Adams, what I do is I do a search for Adam Curry
once a week,
about once every couple of days,
once a week. I see that douchebag said anything. Okay.
All right, onward with. And you want to read? You got the note there. You might want to read. This is Sarah Domenico in Pacifica, California, which is right over here.
I do
on the water.
Yes,
$424.21.
Yes, and let me see. This is a handwritten card.
Yes, it's a nice card.
Nice card.
Thank her.
Thank you. It says on the card there, "Dear fearless leaders, making NA history as the first Jumbotron-style marriage proposal on the best podcast in the universe in July 2020, episode 1261. My savage knight and I have finally picked the date." Yes, we recall this proposal. I think it was one of those productions that we kind of pulled off. The date will be 4/24/21. Well, that would be yesterday. For that, we wanted to say thanks for being the testimony and the glue that has held us together through the years. Sam started listening in 2010, and I hit him. No, and
in the mouth.
Oh, hit him in the mouth in 2013. Oh, hit me in the mouth in 2013. I'm sorry.
He hit me, yeah.
Yeah. We were knighted and damed in 2017, episode 952, because we all know couples that know agenda together get married. Sam's $11.11 a month subscription has boosted him well above the baronet status. I love hearing that. Thus, he would like to be renamed from Sir Finkeltron to Baronet Sir Savage. Yes, we will do that. Also, if possible, I'd like to change my dame name from Dame Sarah Pacifica of Pacifica to Dame Savage, as we no longer live in Pacifica, California. So glad to be out of the Bay Area. Now in SoCal, we are now in SoCal in the Inland Empire, homeschooling our 3- and 6-year-old human resources. Good for you. I would love to start a No Agenda homeschool. A No Agenda homeschool meetup down here. That's a good idea. This is something
I like it.
It's very good. I organized one so far, but no one came. Well, we'll have to promote it harder. Or maybe get out of the Inland Empire. So maybe anyone interested can email me, moonaction@icloud.com, or be on the lookout for another soon. Last, we are about to take a 40-day, 40-night RV road trip across and back, calling it our Red State Maskless Hot Pocket Tour. You better be sending reports from the road. This will be fun. This donation of $424.21 commemorates our wedding day and seeks marriage and travel karma for the beginning of our newest and next chapter. We couldn't thank you, John and Adam, enough, even if we tried. You truly are the best. No jingles, no karma. Love and light from Sir and Dame Savage. And I would also like to say I think that's great for your kids. What a great American adventure to take them across the country and back, and please report in from the road from time to time. You didn't want it, but I'm going to hand you some karma, and congratulations.
You've got karma.
I would like to see photos of unusual sites like screwball restaurants, giant dinosaurs, phony things.
Balls of string, yes.
Especially if you're now in the Inland Empire, that means you're going to be taking probably Route 66.
Yeah,
which is
that's the one to go.
Loaded with fun stuff.
Yeah.
Sir Carey's Baron of Greater Boston in Dracut, Massachusetts, $420.69. ITM, gents, thank you for your courage and what you do. Some relationship karma would be much appreciated, Sir Carey's.
Baron of the Greater Boston, you betcha. Here it is, Sir Carey's.
You've got karma.
Sir Mac in Odenton, Maryland, 3/42/21. Greetings, John and Adam. This is Sir Mac wishing this awesome keeper, Dame Lauren, a happy birthday. And she should now be Baronetess Lauren.
Got it.
She's on that upgrade list.
Yes, I think she is. I'll double check. I'm quite sure that I saw the name earlier this morning. Baronetess. No, I think. Oh, this is a good catch, John. Let's make sure we get her on there. So she
put her on there, and I'll read.
Dame Lauren becomes Baronetess Lauren. Okay, got it.
Sir Mr. Bob Dobalina.
Mr. Dobalina, Mr. Bob Dobalina.
Bobalina, Bob Bamboo. I emailed John my note. Thanks.
And did he now?
I don't know.
You didn't.
He wasn't with the headline donation.
Oh, brother.
So why don't you read the next one? I go see if I can find a note.
Okay. This is Johnny B, 333 from Brockport, New York. Sir Johnny B here. I could use a fat dose of jobs and moving karma. New York's government blows, and I need some help moving on. I had an interview for a job in North Carolina. I totally choked. Hate it when that happens. The last time I got jobs karma was 10 years ago, and I'm still here. That was when you still read notes under $200, so hoping the next interview goes better. I'm a dude named Ben, named John. Top 5 states are Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, South Dakota, and New Hampshire. But really, any place has to be more free than New York. Thanks for all that you do. Sir Johnny B, a recommendation, go on noagendasocial.com. Registrations are open. Sign up and let everybody know you're looking for it. We have producers in every single one of those states, and I'm going to give you the jobs karma to make it happen.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Anything
well,
from...
there's no Dabalina anywhere in the email box. Or Bobalina, for that matter. I made a mistake. I looked that up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Bob. Put the notes on the PayPal note thing, and if you're going to send note in, put the word donation in the subject line.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Johnny B.
You're Mike Brewer.
Name, Cowboy at Gmail. I don't know. Sir Johnny B.
No, Brewer. I just did that one. We're on to Mike
I'm sorry. One of my I'm sorry. Yeah, I remember you doing it. Mike Brewer in Wattle Park, Australia, South Australia, 31404. Jingles, please. Heavenly farts. Obama, you might die. Fauci wheeze. Amen. And
amen and
a
women.
Woman, ITM, crackpot, buzzkill. I don't know. Many thanks for the vintage karma sent my way in January. This has been a really outstanding vintage, despite Southern Australia missing out on summer. I've sent you through an Anzac Day donation $425 ruse as show 1341 will fall on 425. This podcast makes it all the harder for the Pravda M5M to sell us another stupid conflict. Can I please request some health karma for my father? He has been crook. Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah, no.
He's been crook for the last couple of months.
Is that slang?
This must be Australian slang.
Must be slang.
And his doctors and specialists can't work out what is wrong with him.
Ugh.
Oh, well. Love is lit and much respect. Sir Mike.
Before we begin, let's pray. Let's pray. Heavenly farts.
You might die.
A man and a woman.
You've got karma.
Sir Vito, 30780. V4V, gentlemen, please upgrade me from Sir Vito Mountain Wop to Sir Vito Baronet Errant. R2D2 health karma for all those who need it.
You've got karma.
And he is on the upgrade list.
Yes,
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, he is.
Anonymous. The thumb of something.
Michigan.
667.
The thumb of Michigan.
The thumb of Michigan. Oh, he's in the upper peninsula. Please, no dedouching. Well, actually, he wouldn't be. He'd be in Michigan, wouldn't he? The thumb, the upper peninsula, be the fingers. I don't know. I can't remember how they. I have no idea. It. Please, no dedouching.
Okay.
Please keep my name anonymous and announce it from the thumb of Michigan. I would only like jobs karma for my smoking hot wife who is looking for a job closer to her home and a baby making karma.
Bless you, dear.
Wow. I got to do it again.
And baby making karma for my sister who's going through the in vitro process for a second time. If you would like to share on the show, I have a theory that the soda brand Tab is responsible for my sister not being able to become pregnant naturally. The only 3 women I know who drink Tab Cola are all childless. Not sure if it's a coincidence, causation, or lack of trying. In other news, my COVID story. To keep it short, my wife and I did contract the COVID virus from a non-symptomatic friend over New Year's. This was from a good friend and at least not admitting to have any symptoms until a few days after New Year's Day. Also, my smoking hot wife's boss, who is around the ripe age of 36, is sick with coronavirus after being vaccinated. Ain't that something? I make a pledge to make another donation of the same amount if my wife is able to land a career job closer to her home or if my sister is with child. All right, John, we know we can at least solve half of those problems. Let's make it happen.
Let's go for it.
Let's make it happen. Thanks for the great show, he says. Yes, well, of course, we're going to do a jobs karma.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
Curry and Dvorak Insemination Group is on the scene.
I thought the commentary, even though it's
small sample size,
sketchy, the thing about Tab.
Yeah.
Aspartame, I think, is the main ingredient in that drink, isn't it?
Probably. It's aspartame with water, I think.
Yeah.
And a crayon.
Sir Ever of the Watt in Linwood, Michigan, 23456. A happy birthday shout out to my bride, Kathleen, giving me 41 years of being blissfully wrong.
Yeah. We hear you.
Cute.
We hear you.
Dave Schwanebeck, I think it's Schwanebeck, in McHenry, Illinois, 233.33. Dave Schwanebeck in McHenry, Illinois. Gentlemen, thank you for the great show. I need a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Now, in that state, I'd like to call out my father, Dave Sr.
Douchebag.
And Tonith.
Douchebag.
As douchebags. My family has a piping and welding company in Chicago. And a shout out to Twin Piping Company, 50 plus years strong. Okay, that's good business, I would think. Whole Load and Noodle Gun Jingle 2020 to 2021 has been great for the stainless steel process piping business. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Jobs karma for the years to come. Twinpiping.com. Stay safe.
Hey, maybe that's because of all the, the home stuff, building. That's why wood is out and all that.
Yeah,
it's like everyone's just building. So. You know what? You can't even build a house in Texas right now. You know why? Can't get workers.
Expensive.
No workers.
Oh.
There's no workers. We need more immigrants.
This happened in California a couple of years ago. Maybe they had those big, the Paradise town burnt to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Didn't have many.
And all the carpenters, everybody went up to the Napa and Sonoma counties to fix all these areas, and you couldn't get anyone in the Bay Area.
That's why you had Eric to come down and do your steps?
He's one of the reasons, yeah.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
I'm going to shoot you in the face with my noodle gun, you racist piece of shit. I got my pasta Glock locked and loaded.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got
Maxine Waters Gravel in Louisville, Kentucky, 222.22. Maxine Waters Gravel. See email titled COVID Survivor. Okay, well, that's something I don't do routinely. And I just read this now for the first time, which is when I do the spreadsheet. We do it from,
We do it live.
We do it live. So I don't have that email in front of me.
I don't have it either. I don't have the email.
Well, another email mishap. Put donation in the subject line and it will get picked up because I do a search at midnight and send every one of those to Eric. Sir Tony Knight of South Jersey in Sicklerville,
That's Jersey.
A COVID hotspot.
Sicklerville, New Jersey. Yeah.
20107. Looking for jobs karma as I'm taking over my father's construction business and I want to do him proud. Thanks, John and Adam, for the twice weekly sanity.
Jobs, jobs, easy. Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
Jersey strong.
Jeff Elcia in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, $200.33. Jeff from Bethlehem, my European multinational employer just handed out bonuses.
Yay.
They do not subscribe to the value for value concept. However, we met our sustainability goals and are saving the planet.
Yay.
I am sharing some of that wealth with the best podcast in the universe. Can I have a Kellyanne Conway money shot and some R2D2 karma? Thanks. Bye.
That's a sure enough money shot. Woo, Jesus. Woo, Lord. Look at that. That's a money shot. Kellyanne Conway and a money shot.
You've got karma.
I love that one.
Brian Furley in Littleton, Colorado, $200.33. He writes, Sup, guys. Sup. Last year, I donated 333.33 for my 33rd birthday, so I wouldn't be a douchebag for my 33rd year. I also subscribed to monthly donations, and here we are a year later, and I have crossed the $1,000 amount. I've been listening to the show since around Obama. when he was elected the first time, and it's kept me beyond sane since then. Back then, I also had no idea what mead was. But now, thanks to the dimensions of it in the show, I make gallons of mead all year long.
11 years listening to the best podcast in the universe, and all he learned was mead. Oh, boy.
And I will be bringing a flagon of it to the round table to share. Okay, I'll give a mead story.
Oh, good.
So when the Davis Bynum Winery first started, which was in Albany, California, years ago with the 1966 vintage of his Cabernet Sauvignon, he had this winemaker, and he used to be a writer for the San Francisco Chronicle, this Bynum. And he had this winemaker who would make good, credible wine. He made really good product. But he was an unbelievable mead maker. And he would make this mead, and I don't even know if they sold it there. They may have. But his mead, I've never had mead as good. It was delicious. He just had a knack for it. So if you make a good mead, I'll give you kudos, because I have had mead since this era in the 70s, and I would say that I've never had mead that I like. I don't like it because I've been spoiled by good mead.
I had mead once. I think Mike, remember when Mike and his wife lived in Austin? We're talking 10, 11 years ago. And he made mead, and it was like a champagne kind of taste. Or did it? Or was he putting me off? Was it?
I don't know. This guy. Let's see what he thinks.
Let's give him some vouv and call it mead. See what he says.
Let me finish the note with, he says, any Hoosier. I'd like to be known as Sir Soothsayer as I join the round table. And could I get a Hot Pockets for old time's sake and a goat karma, as I use this year to prep for my next phase in life, which I hope to make amazing make it a mead, become a mead maker, despite the insanity around us all. Thank you for your courage, and adios mofos.
Hot Pockets.
You've got karma.
I'm thinking that because honey itself varies to such an outrageous extreme in terms of its flavors, tastes, and profiles, that it could have more to do with the quality, the final product of mead than anything else. And maybe this guy that I had the mead from had just really great honey to work with. I'm sorry. Tyler Sink in Benton, Illinois, $200.01. ITM, fellows. Thanks for all you do. No jingles, no karma. Tyler
Thank you,
Sink.
Tyler. Thank you very much.
Caitlin Hawkins in Wilmington, Delaware. $200. She can set us up with a corporation. Thank you for the hours of entertainment, insight, and deconstructions to keep things short and sweet. All I asked for is a de-douching.
We got that.
You've been de-douched.
And a few jingles. I got ants sucking on soot and a healthy dose of goat karma for all. Keep up the great work, and thanks again for all you do. Sincerely, Caitlin.
Oops, sorry about that. Rejiggered.
I got ants. I got ants.
You might die.
Sucking in soot.
You might die. Sucking in soot.
You've got karma.
Michael of Calgary, $200. This is me getting close to Barron, but the purpose of the donation is house selling karma. Shouldn't be required in this hot market, but selling our particular house in Calgary is proving to be a challenge, which makes a Reverend Al respect me much and a TPP jobs jingles as well.
We got it.
RESPICT.
Jobs. 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 And jobs.
You've got karma.
And last on our list is Andrea Cody, $200. Donor's name, Andrea Cody. I'm volunteering to be part of the control group for the COVID-19 vaccine trial by not getting the vaccine. Boom, done.
I still like that the best. No, I'm part of the control group. I can't. I'm part of the control group.
Yeah, part of the control group.
I can't. I just can't. I'm part of the control group. Well, that's our control group.
executive and associate executive producers for show 1341.
Yes, we appreciate you just putting it right there where it means the most to you. That's what these amounts are about. That's what the numerology is about. But really, you're helping produce a podcast, not just a podcast, the best podcast in the universe. 14 years, in our 14th year now. And as Sir Onimus of Dogpatch and Lois Labovia said, the experiment continues. It's a grand one, and we love that we can do this. We love coming to work all the way upstairs. I love coming to work to do this show because it really is put together by the producers of No Agenda Nation. We will do it again on Thursday, so if you feel like it, why don't you head on over to this great website,
Dvorak.org/NA.
And thank you very much for contributing your time, your talent, and your treasure to episode 1341.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Oh, I wanted to mention to you, remember the French professor, we were wondering about him? Who really early on said that this was all bullcrap.
The day after the genetic information was released.
Yes, Jean-Bernard Fourtillon. He's in jail.
No, I don't think that's the same guy.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I thought that was the guy. Well, this guy is in jail. So. Whoever he is, he's in jail.
Yeah, this guy is a skeptic that is
in jail.
Yeah, I know he's in jail. He's not the same guy.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the other guy's name? We don't know the other guy's name.
Well, I'll have to go. I'll look it up. Mm-hmm. But this guy that's in jail is not a Nobel Prize winning, and he wasn't a doctor. He was a Nobel Prize in medicine. He was a researcher, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, we have a lot of
some ISOs. I want to hear some ISOs.
Oh, okay. I got some ISOs for you. Usually we do that after the second segment, but okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I finally got Theo to give us some ISOs.
Wait a minute. Theodorable has cracked the ISO market?
Yeah, a little bit. I couldn't get him to say "shut up, slave" because he can't seem to say the word slave.
What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Yeah, right.
We got an ITM.
In the morning.
Oh, I love him. Oh, my goodness. Oh, let me hear that again.
In the morning.
Aw, super sweet. That's sweet.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then I got shows over.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally hit the wrong one there, didn't I? Show's over. Oh, here we go.
A show's over.
Okay, now you're coaching him to do stuff, and
a show's over.
Okay.
Of course I am. What do you think? He's just going to stay saying stuff out of the blue?
No, but I was going to say it should have been more like show's over. I'm just saying.
You ever tried directing a 2-year-old? Okay, here we go. I got shows over too. This is more to your liking.
A show's over, dummy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well done, Grandpop.
And we do have
hold on. I'm reveling in this. I'm reveling.
Show's over, dummy.
Have his parents heard this shit?
No, of course not.
No.
He was over being babysitting, so I decided to do
You'll never have to babysit again.
And here's the last one in the group, douchebag.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Douchebag.
I think Shows Over Dummy is very funny. I like that one a lot. Well, I do have some ISOs to compete. Now, we have very, very sweet little Theodorable. And then we have this one.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
So we can do that.
Was that Alex Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that's old.
And we have.
Thanks for your courage on that.
And this one actually is.
Whoa.
That's a real thing from Chris Hayes.
That was Chris Hayes?
Yeah.
Sound like I thought I would have bet money it was Bernie.
I know, because it sounds like a whoa. Wait, let's find the Bernie whoa. Hold on. Whoa. Sanders. Here we go.
whoa.
Damn, man. There's a lot of whoa-whoas we've got in the archive. But it comes from this. It comes from, it was a segment. It's a very short segment. Right now, there's movement going on again about January 6th, about the election. In fact, I have a clip in a minute about what the audit that's going on in Arizona. But for January 6th, the January 6th Commission, I think President Trump, former President Trump, said that he felt that Antifa should also be looked at as possible bad actors in the January 6th event. And this is how that went down on the Chris Hayes show.
He wants it to include Antifa. And the fact that
whoa. He wants the January 6th Commission to include Black Lives Matter?
It's a double whammy, this one. What an idiot. He's literally combining Antifa and Black Lives Matter without even knowing it.
I'm taken aback by that.
To
him, Black Lives Matter and Antifa are the same thing.
Yes.
Wow.
And the fact that
this guy gets paid well over $1 million a year, maybe
even more.
Yeah.
But not as much as Rachel Maddow, who had this to say about the ongoing audit of the ballots in, I think it's Maricopa County, but maybe all of Arizona, which, believe it or not, there's word now that actual watermarks may come into play, which would be pretty funny if true. Certainly months after the proclamation and lack of thousands of sealed indictments. So Rachel Maddow was very, very upset about this. Very upset that anyone's counting ballots.
I will tell you, this Arizona story, like I said, I did not expect to be seeing it, to be covering it again tonight after we covered it last night. It is obviously strange. It's laughable in lots of ways. But former President Trump, put out a statement today lauding this and talking about how this was going to reveal the truth of the 2020 election and citing a whole bunch of other states that are also going to now do this to reveal the truth of the 2020 election. And he's still maintaining this fantasy that he somehow won and that Joe Biden isn't really the president anymore. He's not the legitimate president. What the Arizona Republicans are doing here, this process by which they are bastardizing the actual secure election from November 2020, and they're going to produce some result that says that it was some other fraudulent thing, will be used by the Trump part of the Republican Party and the Trump right to cast doubt on the 2020 election among their most fervent supporters in a way that none of their failed lawsuits in the past have been able to do. They got the actual ballots and they handed them to conspiracy theorists who say that, QAnon is the mastermind or whatever it is.
Oh, really? Where's your clip of that?
That stopped this, that they need to use to stop
just making this stuff up.
No, it gets better. Hold on. It gets better.
The actual ballots.
Wait, I hate to tell you.
No, that's okay.
Wait.
It's okay.
Can you start the clip over? There's a little thing she said there at the very beginning that I want to I got to make sure I get it right.
All right.
I will tell you, this Arizona story, like I said, I did not expect to be seeing it, to be covering it again tonight after we covered it last night. It is obviously strange. It's laughable in lots of ways. But former President Trump, put out a statement today lauding this and talking about how this was going to reveal the truth of the 2020 election and citing a whole bunch of other states that are also going to now do this to reveal the truth of the 2020 election. And he's still maintaining this fantasy that he somehow won and that Joe Biden isn't really the president anymore. He's not the legitimate president. What the Arizona Republicans are doing here, this
I got it.
Yeah.
Process by which they are bastardizing.
I think we should be calling Joe Biden the illegitimate Joe Biden. Illegitimate President Joe Biden.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Listen again.
This fantasy that he somehow won and that Joe Biden isn't really the president anymore. He's not the legitimate president. What the Arizona Republicans are doing here, this process by which they are bastardizing the actual secure election from November 2020, and they're going to produce some result that says that it was some other fraudulent thing, will be used by the Trump part of the Republican Party and the Trump right
now, wait for it.
to cast doubt on the 2020 election among their most fervent supporters in a way that none of their failed lawsuits in the past have been able to do. They got the actual ballots and they handed them to conspiracy theorists who say that, QAnon is the mastermind or whatever it is, that stopped this, that they need to use to stop the steal and all. I mean, the craziest parts of the pro-Trump conspiracy theory world have the actual ballots and are going to declare that something different happened in the election in Arizona than what really happened. And that will become a lie that they try to live on and build on for a long time to come. You watch. This is a ridiculous story that will become very dangerous in the long run.
Dangerous? In the long run, it will become, mark my words.
What does she mean when she says they took the ballots and gave them to conspiracy theorists?
Well, I guess that's just
name names. I want to know where did they get the ballots and who are these conspiracy theorists that somehow received the ballots? I want to know.
Well,
she just rambles about jack shit, this woman.
And there's a lot of things bubbling kind of around this. I mean, there's weird stuff happening. So, it's almost like a little rewind, like we're just pulling the string back a couple months, and all of a sudden we get this.
Got a new developments in the criminal case against Ghislaine Maxwell. She's charged with aiding and conspiring with deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in the alleged sexual abuse of 4 underage girls between 1994 and 2004. Maxwell was arraigned today in a New York federal court on a new 8-count indictment.
And this happens, I think, the same day or a day after the Daily Mail in the UK publishes pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein in the Clinton White House hanging out. These had not been seen before. But just to make it crazier, Lynn Wood was at some conference, which I didn't know about, but I've seen a couple different people now on video speaking there. The We Are Fear Unmasked, I think, was this, and there was a stage. There's a lot of people there, a lot of seemingly quite normal-looking people, and Lynn Wood comes out and lays this down, which should drive Rachel Maddow up the wall.
I'm not afraid to talk about it. They've accused me of being a QAnon conspiracy theorist. Why? Because they're telling you that I am a bad messenger. They're trying to attack me because they can't attack Q, because Q is the truth.
Woo!
This is about the children, for God's sakes.
Yeah! The children.
Send this videotape. Send it to Hollywood. Hey, Clay, send it to the House of Windsor. Hey, Clay, send it to Bill Gates. Send it to the damn Illuminati. Let them hear the truth. And whatever they do to me, I don't fear them at all. Send it to the Vatican. Send it to the politicians, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens, the Bushes. Send it to those people because they are involved in child sex trafficking. It's time to tell the truth to America.
All right, Lynn.
Sounds like he's in a stadium.
It was big, and I actually cut down some of the applause. It was so long. They just looked like normal people, and they didn't look nutty. But when he was saying QAnon,
nutty.
He'd do this like sword gesture, like do a Q, like Zorro, only a Q. Very interesting. I've got to watch that whole thing. I got to see what's going on there. Well, you never know.
Send me a link.
You never know. I mean, it could. Hey,
yeah,
crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened.
I just put the two of Rachel Maddow and that guy in a cage match and let him go. Have Joe Rogan do the color.
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
All right. Well, let's talk a little. We do have to get a couple of these clips out of the way. I do have because I have a question to ask you.
Yep.
This is the the Biden clips, the illegitimate Biden clips about Afghanistan.
Oh, yes. As
you carry over from last show. But let's play Biden AFG 1.
When I came to office, I inherited a diplomatic agreement duly negotiated between the government of the United States and the Taliban that all U.S. forces would be out of Afghanistan by May 1, 2021. Just 3 months after my inauguration. That's what we inherited, that commitment.
We'll do it.
It's perhaps not what I would have negotiated myself, but it was an agreement made by the United States government. And that means something. So in keeping with that agreement and with our national interest, the United States will begin our final withdrawal. Begin it on May 1 of this year.
That's when we'll begin. Oh, it takes a long time.
But that's a lot different than a couple of weeks ago when he says, I'm not going to do this because Trump agreed to it. We're going out on September 11th. That's what he said. Am I mistaken?
No, that's exactly what he said.
Different?
No, but he still may start on May and then be done by the
that's a lot different than I'm not doing anything on May.
So what changed?
This guy.
What changed? What changed
is some legal eagle said, look, we agreed to this thing. We signed off as the U.S. government. We have to do it on May 1st.
I did get code. There was a code about this event that came through on the media, a Rubicon-type code.
A collection of 33...
Oops, sorry. Here we go.
A collection of 33 relics from ancient Afghanistan are being returned to the country after being seized from a New York art dealer who authorities say was one of the most prolific smugglers of antiquities. The masks, sculptures, and other items, some from the 2nd and 3rd centuries, are en route to Kabul, where they are expected to go on display at the National Museum. The same museum where many artifacts were destroyed by the Taliban in 2001. The Afghan ambassador to the U.S. says these items are returning to a people who cherish their past, and she doesn't expect the Taliban, if they return to power, they would dare to destroy them.
How about this? So first of all, you throw 33 in there, we're paying attention.
So we're paying attention.
They send the 33 artifacts back. They start the withdrawal on the 5th. The Taliban comes in, smashes them up. Boom, we lock it down again, send in 10,000 more troops.
Well, that would be too easy. It's the Taliban, for one thing. There's a couple of things in there as to what she says. She's the Afghans like these things that the Taliban wouldn't do. The Taliban are Afghanis. Let's start with that premise.
Right.
So they're the ones that are tearing the place up, and so they obviously don't have that much respect for these artifacts. Okay, maybe there's something up. You're right, 33.
Yeah.
But let's go to clip 2 with Biden.
Will not conduct a hasty rush to the exit. We'll do it responsibly, deliberately, and safely. And we will do it in full coordination with our allies and partners who now have more forces in Afghanistan than we do. And the Taliban should know that if they attack us as we draw down, we will defend ourselves and our partners with all the tools at our disposal. Our allies and partners have stood beside us, shoulder to shoulder in Afghanistan for almost 20 years. And we're deeply grateful for the contributions they have made to our shared mission and for the sacrifices they've borne. The plan has long been in together, out together. U.S. troops, as well as forces deployed by our NATO allies and operational partners, will be out of Afghanistan before we mark the 20th anniversary of that heinous attack on September 11th.
Well, he's kind of back to September 11th there. Yeah, so he starts in May, and then we'll be done.
Yeah, the other thing is, I have to say, during the entire Trump, I don't care if you hated Trump, but there was no terrorism from the Middle East. We didn't talk about September 11th constantly like Bush did. And it just was a different world. And then, and now we're back to normal. This is the new normal. The new normal is the old normal. Mm-hmm. The old normal. And it's like a head shaker.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing. And it's
very disappointing.
It's repetitive. It's boring. It's boring.
Part 3.
The main argument for staying longer is what each of my 3 predecessors have grappled with. No one wants to say that we should be in Afghanistan forever, but they insist now is not the right moment to leave. In 2014, NATO issued a declaration affirming that Afghan security forces would from that point on have full responsibility for this country's security by the end of that year. That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So when will it be the right moment to leave? 1 more year? 2 more years? 10 more years? 10, 20, $30 billion more than the trillion we've already spent?
Yeah.
Not now. That's how we got here. And in this moment, there's a significant downside risk to staying beyond May 1st without a clear timetable for departure.
Did he say 33 years? He didn't say that, did he?
No, I don't think so.
Let me just go back
play it again. But
10 more years? 10, 20, $30 billion more than the trillion we've already spent?
30, yeah.
Not now.
Not now.
That's how we got here.
Yeah.
And in this moment...
The thing is, in this little spiel, he goes on about his predecessors and how nobody had the guts to get out except for him. Trump made the May 1st deadline. It was Trump that said we're getting out on May 1st. Yeah. So he gets no credit for leaving? No, Biden's going to take, I got us out.
There's a significant downside risk to staying beyond May 1st without a clear timetable for departure. If we instead pursue the approach where U.S. exit is tied to conditions on the ground, we have to have clear answers to the following questions. Just what conditions be required to allow us to depart? By what means and how long would it take to achieve them, if they could be achieved at all? And at what additional cost in lives and treasure? I've not heard any good answers to these questions.
Why is the president asking the American public these questions? Give us answers, Joe. We don't want to... What? I don't know why. I don't know what the answer is. That's why you were elected. Give us some answers. Take some action. Stop talking like this. It's annoying. Now, he did do something very interesting, which Trump did not do, but I think this may have been an error on his part. Biden said he recognizes the Armenian genocide.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big deal, and I concur that was genocide. Trump, if you recall, never said genocide, but he did say very specifically that the Ottoman Empire killed over 1.5 million people, Armenians. But he would not call it genocide, and I think that's probably because of what's happening now is Erdogan and Turkey are pissed off.
Oh, no. We knew this was going to happen. That's why nobody had the guts to do it. I think Joe just...
You think he just threw it out there?
You
think it was a mistake? No.
Well, it's not. He's not going to do much that's this level of mistake. He had to either be told to do this or somebody, or he always wanted to do it ever since he was a little kid. I don't know. But he definitely did it. And so now, okay, Turkey, now we're going to see what happens because Turkey does not like this accusation.
No, what do you think they'll do about it? I mean, where are we vulnerable right now? Who are they in bed with? They're in bed with Russia.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's trying to poke the Russian bear. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I thought it was
weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I have another Biden clip. I have a Biden clip if you want to move on or... Do you?
Okay.
Do you have any more Bidens?
I do have one, but it's an old clip from 1990 or so.
Oh, well, let's play that. That's always fun.
This is a clip I've been waiting for the right moment to play, but here it is. This is Biden around 1990 talking about packing the courts.
President Roosevelt clearly had the right to send to the United States Senate and the United States Congress a proposal to pack the court. It was totally within his right to do that. He violated no law. He was legalistically absolutely correct, but it was a bonehead idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's when he actually could talk with fluidity.
Well, I guess there was a couple things going on. There was the Global Climate Leadership Conference, which was hilarious.
I put a picture. I don't know if you saw the picture I put in the newsletter.
Of course. The only world leader with a mask on.
Everyone, there's all these world leaders in this Zoom meeting or whatever it was, and one of them was wearing a mask. And that is you-know-who.
Also, everybody had their flag in the background. We didn't. There was no U.S. flag behind Blow Jiden.
Yeah, somebody else noticed that.
That was very annoying. So I'm not sure if this was before or after, but I happen to know that this is a lie, and I don't think anyone clued in the president, or maybe even the White House doesn't even know what's going on in New York.
And I mean this. A lot of you have traveled, or I've traveled 800,000 miles just since being vice president. And I've traveled millions of miles around the world. I've been in almost every country in the world. If I blindfolded someone and took him at 2 o'clock in the morning into the airport in Hong Kong and said, "Where do you think you are?" They said, "This must be America. It's a modern airport." If I took him blindfolded and took to the LaGuardia Airport in New York, you must think I must be in some third world country. I'm not joking.
Apologies for the one channel. LaGuardia Airport just got a multi-billion-dollar upgrade. If you look at the pictures of the new terminal, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's stunningly beautiful.
We talked about this on the show from, I think, Anonymous Lesbian or somebody in New York was telling us that they're pushing the repairs and the fixing and the modernization of LaGuardia during the COVID shutdown.
Right.
Because they don't have to worry about union strikes or anything. It was like some sort of a scam. There was some connection between the two.
I think it was it the school union or something?
About 5 months ago we played that clip.
Yeah, but I looked it up. You go look at the pictures of the new terminal at LaGuardia Airport. It's beautiful. I mean, it's not a third world country.
No, but that clip. That clip sounds like a Joe Biden from 2 or 3 years.
That's what
ago.
I thought. That's what I thought too. But it was listed in the stories as what he said on Wednesday. So I could be wrong.
It doesn't sound like him. You heard these clips.
I agree.
Slow.
I agree. And what I'm thinking is this the double? Because there are different energy levels with the president. Very different energy levels.
Oh, you think there's a double that has a different energy level? They got to, guys. Okay.
Any double that's not dead.
People listening out there, couple of shots of morphine into the double.
Yeah.
To knock him back a little bit. So he
slow him down.
To slur.
Slow him down a bit, will you? He's a little out of
slur, and he can barely walk.
Yeah,
he has that funny walk of a guy who looks like he's going to fall over. You need to do some work on that.
So let's go to the climate conference, the world leaders. Why they're called leaders, I don't know. But we elect leaders, I guess, instead of just representatives.
Well, at least they don't call them rulers.
Well, barely don't. Bojo was up.
It's vital for all of us to show that this is not all about some expensive, politically correct green act of bunny hugging, or however you want to put it. I'm not wrong with bunny hugging, but you know what I'm driving at, friends and colleagues. This is about growth and jobs, and I think the president was absolutely right to stress that. And I want to leave you with the thought that we can build back better from this pandemic by building back greener.
For a better life beyond your freedom, build back better. For someone else.
Bunny hugging? What the hell is bunny hugging? I'm not familiar with this term. I like it.
I think it's like tree hugging. Means you're a greenie.
The Wall Street Journal reported on the big climate conference, and man, we are from the future. Only a little bit. What we called it on the last show.
A lot of people also talked about bringing back cash for clunkers. So in about 2008, 2009, we had this cash for clunkers program. And basically what it is that it's an incentive to take some of these older, inefficient cars off the road.
Damn, man. We can do that one again? I mean, did that ever help anything? Yeah.
All we have to do is go back to 2008.
Yeah.
And listen to those old shows from 2008. That's where all this stuff came from.
Yeah.
Saved or created, all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
And just start reiterating it, and it's going to pop up one after the other. We have reverted not just to 2016. We've reverted all the way to 2008. That's the reset. We reset to 2008.
We have, and here's proof. We'll go back to, what is this? This is the year, this is 2017. But it might as well have been 2007, Al Gore.
People are noticing the largest downpour in the history of the UK was just a year ago last fall, and there have been wave after wave of these downpours. The sea level predictions in low-lying coastal areas, not least on the banks of the Thames, are ones that people are now taking into account. I was in Amsterdam earlier this week, and believe me, they're looking very carefully at this. In making this movie, I went to Miami Beach. I saw fish from the ocean swimming in the streets of Miami Beach during the highest of the high tides. That's happening on a regular basis.
That's right. Look, John, there it is. The fish flopping on the streets of Miami.
So are we supposed to believe that the rare moments where there's some fish on the roads, which has happened, like once every couple of years?
Yeah.
Somebody can correct me if it happens more often. That he happened to be there? Bull crap.
Well, this is now being cranked up in 2021. CBS Evening News.
Every spring, the cherry trees surrounding Washington's tidal basin erupt in billowing blossoms of pink and white. Even their monumental neighbors can't compete.
Yes, they're beautiful, aren't they?
But Sean Keneally, who has worked this park for 24 years, says there's a creeping concern.
I've definitely noticed the water getting a little higher every year.
Due to climate change, water levels near the nation's capital are rising faster than almost anywhere else on the East Coast. The tidal basin is hit hard because the land here is also sinking.
Every day, twice a day, the tidal basin now floods at high tide, and this walkway alongside the water disappears underneath it.
As the water starts to roll in, where the sidewalk ends becomes its own tourist distraction.
What's been the impact on the cherry trees themselves?
So in some areas, we've lost cherry trees. They've been flooded out.
If nothing is done, floodwaters could also inundate the memorials to Jefferson and Martin Luther King Jr. The FDR Memorial could end up submerged in 9 feet of water by the end of the century.
9 feet.
It's only going to get worse.
Catherine Malone France is with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. It named the tidal basin one of America's most endangered historic places, and recently asked several landscape architecture firms to reimagine the area. Some ideas call for long elevated walkways. Others would relocate entire monuments and let nature take its course.
The status quo is not acceptable here for a place this beloved and this significant.
A place devoted to history facing an uncertain future.
Now, in that report, they give it away, Washington, D.C. being built on a swamp. They say the ground is sinking. Yeah, that's not the same as water rising. The ground is sinking. Yes.
There's a couple of things in that report that bother me. One is this notion that we've heard this before, and if we first heard it, you did a whole bunch of clips on this, where parts of the world, we have global warming, but parts of the world their temperatures are rising faster here than any place else. Oh no, the temperatures are rising faster here. Why is any one spot have these anomalies where it's rising faster? And the other one we've started to notice now we have this report where the seawater is rising faster in the Washington, D.C. area. Then they mentioned they're sinking, but it's rising faster. Why would it be rising faster? The ocean's the ocean. It doesn't have a spot where it's rising faster. And we have the same thing in the earlier report on the same show where all of a sudden now in India, they're having all these cases that nobody else is having. These localized bullshit is unbelievable.
Yeah, here's an example from 2019 about Canada.
In Climate Watch, Canada is warming up twice as fast as the rest of the world.
We had a whole bunch of those.
Yeah, yes, a lot of them were in the special I put together. Mm-hmm. But this is not the way this. And they're all big believers in science. What's scientific about these ideas that Canada's doubling, and there's other places that are tripling. They're going up. They're going crazy in these special spots. Are they dead yet?
They should be dead
by now. It's like the mystery spot in Santa Cruz. It's very weird to go there. Okay, that's a pet peeve thing.
No, you're right. The Watermelon Head
was out doing PR and stuff. It's his job. He's going to be the one shepherding it all in. He's the money. He's the bag man, by the way. John Kerry, the bag man. Careful.
You think he's just... Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Oh, he's the bag man.
Yeah, cash.
Sure. So he did a Zoom call, shorty, because, we hate him.
You're off to such a great, quick start. You said twice getting to net zero is going to be hard, really hard. And just remind everybody that will depend on whether or not we have some breakthrough technologies and breakthrough innovations, number one. But even if we get to net zero, we still have to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So this is a bigger challenge than a lot of people have
Science!
Really grabbed onto yet.
Science! Hey, trees! Screw ya! Science!
Hey, all the plants in the world.
What?
He's an idiot.
Well, that's our climate czar. Of course he's an idiot.
We've got to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere?
Yeah, get it out. Get it out, because it's deadly. It's going to kill you.
Oh, my... Oh, okay. Clip of the day.
Oh, well, gee, I wasn't even expecting that, but...
you should have.
Yeah, I should have been on the ready for that one. I appreciate it. There we go. I'll take it.
Clip of the day.
I got two more to wrap up my bit of the climate change. This is just a throwback to Thursday. Of course, it was Earth Day.
On this Earth Day, President Biden at a climate summit pledged to slash America's greenhouse gas emissions in half within just 9 years.
Yeah, to save us from the apocalypse that AOC warned us about. Oops. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Isn't that weird? I mean, that's like Tourette's, man, just throwing that stuff out there. 9 years, in half, no problem. Get the carbon dioxide out of the air. Man, they truly want to kill people.
Yeah.
If you take the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere.
Human.
Is right. Now, we need to bring this to the attention of the children, and the children have to be further indoctrinated. We have a new wave of children. And these children are no longer in school. They're still on Zoom classes and then learning nothing. So we might as well go attack them where they are most vulnerable, which is on television. So let's go to Nickelodeon, and let's do a little bit of mind controlling here on the young children. Let's combine a couple things here. It's so much fun to do. And let's teach them a new term.
Black snow, the thick soot that pollutes Pahokee, Florida. There's Cancer Alley, which is an area along the Mississippi.
This is Nickelodeon. They're talking about Cancer Alley, which by itself was just, whoa, what are you doing?
Black snow, the thick soot that pollutes Pahokee, Florida. There's Cancer Alley, which is an area along the Mississippi River in Louisiana that's lined with oil refineries and air so toxic in New York South Bronx that 20% of children have asthma. What do these cities have in common? They're all examples of environmental racism, a form of systemic racism, where minority and low-income communities are surrounded by health hazards because they live near sewage, mines, landfills, power stations, major roads. In Philadelphia, it's hazardous waste. In San Carlos, Arizona, it's a mining project that would dishonor an Apache sacred site.
That's right. Teach those kids environmental racism. It doesn't get much better.
Oh, I think you had the show title right there, too.
Oh, I should write that one down. I mean, geez, it's Nick News. It's
and that's children. Nickelodeon. Yeah. That's pathetic.
Yeah.
That's Viacom, isn't it?
Yep.
Sumner Redstone's
daughter.
Running there.
Yeah.
Daughter.
Yeah, I know.
Good work.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, put him on the list. It goes on the Freedom List, Nickelodeon.
Yes, Nickelodeon on the list. I'll put it on freedomlist.io. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be managing that. You need to give me the full list of stuff.
I get stuck with this idea.
I'm sorry?
Maybe. Well, there's a couple other things we might as well get out of the way. I like the knife fight in Columbus, Ohio, where the cop shot one girl who's about to stab another girl, and he shot one of them.
Yes.
And so the big stink was made about that, including everyone getting in on the action, including
everybody,
LeBron James and everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, you're next.
Yeah.
So
accountability.
But there's other stuff that is, there's a couple other people that joined in on this, and I thought this Columbus, Ohio knife fight report comes from the Epoch Times guy.
In that footage, a police officer approaches a driveway where a group of people are standing. Very soon afterwards, a young woman, who can be seen holding a knife, appears to try to either hit or stab another girl, who falls to the ground. This knife-wielding girl then turns around and appears to try to stab another girl, that girl right there, the one in the pink, at which point the police officer fires his gun, and the knife-wielding girl, unfortunately, falls to the ground and later. Now, by the way, that girl has been identified now by her family members as 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant. And according to the Columbus police chief, investigators will now be working to determine whether this killing complies with the Ohio state law, which says that deadly force can be used to protect yourself or for the protection of a third person. Furthermore, the head of the department told reporters this: "We have never been able to release video this fast, but we thought it was important to share with the community, to be transparent about this incident, to let them have some answers that we can provide tonight. We know we can't provide every answer, but it's important that we can answer some questions tonight." Now, as of right now, there have not been any new developments in the case, and as you just read, the investigation is ongoing. But there is one thing I would like to reiterate. The current political climate in this country has people giving, you can say, very interesting takes on this tragedy. For instance, a filmmaker over on Twitter, who has a verified blue checkmark, wrote this hot take: "Teenagers have been having fights, including fights involving knives, for eons. We do not need police to address these situations by showing up to the scene and using a weapon against one of the teenagers. Y'all need help. I mean that seriously." Furthermore, Valerie Jarrett, who was a senior advisor to President Barack Obama, she wrote this on Twitter: "A black teenage girl named Micaiah Bryant was killed because a police officer immediately decided to shoot her multiple times in order to break up a knife fight. Demand accountability. Fight for justice."
Accountability. There it is again.
Yeah, accountability is a key word. So knife fights, so you start watching the morning shows, and it's all this discussion. Well, if they had a social worker, they wouldn't have shot the girl. And the social worker would have broken up the fight somehow.
Did they see the video at all? Did they even watch it?
I did, and I said it looked like a bunch of people out of control, and this one girl with a knife is going to stab this other woman.
She was mid-swing, man.
And another guy was kicking the girl that went down.
In the head.
In the head.
But also, they called 911 and literally said, "Get someone here now. There's these other people who are here. They're trying to stab us and kill my grandmother." That was the 911 call. Yeah. So there's a knife fight.
So we have Valerie Jarrett and a bunch of these other people coming out and say, "Well, knife fights, that's normal." Yeah. Or this is they're speaking for the black community. Is this the image that they're trying to portray to improve the situation?
What's interesting,
knife fight. Everyone does these things.
What's interesting is knives are completely outlawed in the UK for this very reason, because young children, young people were killing each other with knives. Knives are a big problem still in the UK, but not in America. It's just kid play. It's just kid play.
No, just because it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal just to be stabby.
Well, let's do a little bit of Black Lives Matter stuff then while we're at it. Just quickly, a couple articles. Tokyo Olympics, according to, and this is interesting, according to the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, taking the knee for Black Lives Matter will not be permitted. Which I thought.
Well, who's to stop them?
Well, you don't want to mess with the IOC. This is their show. You don't do that.
Okay.
You know what? You're right. We'll see. It'll be very much probably like a callback to the 74 Olympics? When did we have the Black Power fist raise?
But that was the 68 Olympics.
Oh, gosh. Well, it could be. That dates.
It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago. Patrisse Cullors, Cullors, who was one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, who moved on to a new, truly sponsored by Chinese Communist Party. It's in their documents, not bashful about it. She has a new nonprofit. She's moved on from Black Lives Matter, which she also was good and timely. As we found out, she owned several homes, some in the multi-million dollars, or at least more than $1 million. Very uncomfortable, of course, if she is one of your heroes. And now things are starting to pop up. It turns out that Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovitz, Patricia Ann Quillen, wife of Netflix billionaire CEO all gave generously to her Political Action Committee and associated charities. And in return, it appears that she is now coming out and supporting net neutrality as a quid pro quo for these fine donations. And I think that we can await the next logical step. Lack of net neutrality is
racism.
Exactly, because it hurts young black people somehow.
Yeah.
So that will be next. I can't wait to see the details. And
and another twist on that, by the way, you're against net neutrality. You're a white supremacist.
Ooh. Huh? Yeah, good one. Man, we can write this in our sleep. In the morning, Adam and John live in
we got too much material. It just flows out of us.
In the morning, Adam and John, I live in the Metro Detroit area. Got an email from my daughter's school district to take a survey on the district's equity and inclusion. This seems to be a cookie-cutter survey conducted by Hanover Research for the whole district, but did have some school-specific questions. Now, this producer is the father of a first grader. So let's look at some of these questions that were sent via email for parents to answer regarding their first grader. In the past, how often did your child spend time in class discussing diversity, implicit biases, race-related topics, social justice, social action, systemic discrimination, or institutional racism? So that's for your first grader. The second question, in the past week, how often did your child spend time during lessons talking with students from different backgrounds, learning about people from different backgrounds, or working on projects with students from different backgrounds? You can see where this is going. How much do you agree with the following statement? Quote, I want my child to collaborate with students from different backgrounds. That's multiple choice.
Wow.
The next one. How well do you think the staff is accepting of the following? Gender identities or expressions, e.g. man, transgender man.
First grader?
Sexual orientations, disability statuses.
First grader?
Cultures, races, ethnicities, skin colors, socioeconomic backgrounds, etc., even religions. And how much do you agree that your child's teacher does the following? Empower students to fight for social justice. Engage students in meaningful conversations about diversity. Encourage students to speak out against discrimination and racism, and use books, stories, or lesson materials from many different perspectives. And how often does your child do the following? Spend time at school events, interacting with students from different backgrounds. Example, sports events, music performances. Spend time out of class interacting with students from different backgrounds. At lunch or recess or study hall. And how much of a priority are the following? The district staff reflect the diversity of the student body. The district prioritizes funding for programs and resources that support historically disadvantaged student subgroups. All questions you need to know for your first grader. How about Casper the Friendly Ghost? Oops, sorry, racist. It's crazy. Wow. It's crazy. You're raising children to hate their own country. Will not end well.
So I had a series of, what was those clips we played on the last show? I don't have my clip list from the last show.
I can pop it up if you need it.
There was a five-parter. I think it was on, look for the one I just five
C-SPAN.
Parts.
You did C-SPAN five-parter. Is that what you meant on the last show?
I thought there was another one.
Well, I have it right here. You had a lot of C-SPANers. You had, vaccine misinfo. That was a five-parter.
Yeah, vaccine misinfo.
Yeah.
So somebody pointed out that in clip 1,
we
missed a zinger.
Oh, well, don't tell us. Don't tell us. Well, listen, it's 28 seconds.
Tomorrow, Facebook, Twitter, and Google will testify again before Congress. The subject, rampant disinformation on their platforms, ranging from lies about the 2020 election to the COVID-19 rollout. New reporting from NPR out today shows that...
you caught it.
Woo! What a doozy. I missed that.
I missed it too, and I produced the clip.
Fantastic. Who caught that? Who caught that?
One of our producers, I don't have his note in front of me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he thought we were a couple of stooges for missing this thing.
No
that
kidding.
Was wide open.
I got to hear it again.
Ranging from lies about the 2020 election to the COVID-19 rollout.
Oh, it's a great rollout, everybody. Good rollout, everyone.
Rollout.
Good rollout, everybody. Congratulations. You've done a good job. Don't worry. Event 202 is coming up this fall.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
We do have a few people to thank for show 1341, starting with Dame Tiffy, the Tennessee Warrior in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She needs some jobs. Karma will put that at the end for her.
Yep, happily.
Yeah. David Schneider in Crested. She came in with 133.33, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
David Schneider in Crested Butte, Colorado, $100. Dave Bradley Beery, 100 in Blissfield, Michigan. Lisa Manning, $100. Simon Palanwada. What do you think?
Palawada. I'd say Palawada.
Palawada in West Hartford, Connecticut, 6969. Debbie Heiferich, I'm thinking, in Spring, Texas.
Yeah, Helferich, maybe.
Helferich, maybe. 6696. She does say, thank you for giving me the funnier side of the news. David Forbes and Shakopee. One of the names are spelled, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's in Minnesota, and that's 6006. Catherine Palandrani in Silver Springs, Maryland. 5555, and this is a Leo moon donation, whatever that means.
Yeah, well, our moon is in Leo.
It's in Leo.
And we have moons in Leo, apparently, so this is good for us. This is a good time for the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
David Galloway in Flower Mound, Texas. I've been there. 5510. Kirk Sathoff in Novato, California. I pronounce that the way you'd pronounce Taliban. Gummy, and that's 5510. Gummy Nerds, the Viscount of the Troll Room in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Go Packers, 5432. John Gaynor in Aldie, Virginia, 5280. Neil Widensall, 51, parts unknown.
Oh, I'm sorry. For David Galloway, we need to mention that this puts him over the 1K threshold just in time for his 40th birthday. You're on the list. And he wants to be called Sir David Galloway, Knight of the Red Falcon. And he looks forward to toasting both of us at the round table.
Anything special to eat?
Nope, nothing special. He'll just take whatever we got. Mead, lots of mead today.
Mead. Fred Thornburg in Friendswood, Texas, $50.50, and he's also a knight.
Yes, achievement unlocked. Knighthood, Fred Thornburg. This contribution will put me over the top in the quest for knighthood. Provenance, John's appearances on Twit. I've been a subscription contributor since October 2016 and encourage listeners to chip in, even at one of the smaller subscription levels. Title requested, the knight formerly known as Fred. Request to the Peerage Committee to forego the title of Sir. 1, my Quaker heritage eschews titles. 2, provides for a defense of plausible deniability if ever brought before Adam Schiff's committee for potential violation of emoluments clause, title of nobility. Nom de plume in the troll room. Mr. Enigma. So what does he want now? I'm not quite sure.
He just wants to be named without the word sir.
Without the word sir? Okay. And then he has a birthday for his son, Eric, and his granddaughter, Mildred, who is 1 year. And, here we go. Roundtable request, a sea ration with beef with spice sauce and Diet Mountain Dew. Oh, yummy. Got it.
We had another guy that was from the last show, got knighted Sir something.
Yeah, I have that. It's
you have his note, okay.
Yeah, I do.
He needs to be upgraded to Sir.
Well, he was already calling himself, and I have a little problem with this. So
I do too.
He was calling himself Sir Seat Sitter, which is, without being knighted, is stolen valor. So he had stolen valor going on, and so now he says, well, I was already Sir Seat Sitter, so I want to be Sir Seat Sitter. So I'm okay with this time, but I think we should, you can't just be walking around as a sir.
We can do one.
That's not
one
cool.
off.
And you can't just call yourself sir if you're not a sir.
Yeah, I agree. Everything what you said is true.
Yes, I know.
But he's a good listener, a good producer, so I don't mind.
Of course.
To a point. But
come on. Got to bitch a little bit.
Then you're going to have sir.
Yeah. Yeah. That's next on deck. Exactly.
Yeah. My name is, I call myself sir. But I now want to be sir.
Oh, apparently he was Sir Seat Sitter before the show.
Yeah, well, that's what when you read it, you thought, in fact, there was a confusion because he called himself Sir Seat Sitter. But that's okay.
But he says he was Sir Seat Sitter before No Agenda even existed.
Okay, well, he has an argument.
Then he has an argument, yes. Okay.
Well, onward. Now we have the $50 donors. This is the second part of this donation segment. It's quite short. These are the $50 donors, name and location, starting with Todd Grubb in Capic, Michigan, or Capac, I don't know. Brent Simpson in Louisville, Kentucky, 50. Brighton Leah Kakos in Vancouver, BC. He needs a de-douching.
Yeah, we got that.
You've been de-douched.
Eric Elaine in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 50. Alexa Delgado in Aptos, California. Jeff Denham in Stuart, Florida. Mark Ropers in Houten, Netherlands.
Yes, this would be Roepers. Mark Roepers. Which would be the Yeller.
Roepers.
Mark the Yeller from Houten in the Netherlands. And
Mark
and this is the first
running out of gas.
It's the first donation for him. Listen to your podcast without donating. I've sinned. I'm making up here. But after tweeting with Adam about Bitcoin, I felt the obligation to pay for my bad sins. Yes, of course. De-douching.
You've been de-douched.
You bet.
And last on the list is Jesus Allen in Austin, Texas. I want to thank all these folks for supporting the No Agenda show, especially this show, which is show 1341.
Yes, we do have a couple make goods before we move on. The first one for Sir Combat Rock of the Idaho Highlands. In the April 3rd show during my donation, I mentioned my business, BenfieldPrecision.com, and the great karma from the No Agenda show. However, you, Adam, mentioned I made a $15,000 rifle. While inflation has certainly hit the firearms market, I can't claim those prices. As seen on my website, I make custom rifles starting at $1,500 and up. I don't want the listeners getting the idea that my rifles are out of reach for the average listener. I also build ARs and solve accuracy issues or custom rifles customers already own. Yes, hereby corrected. I'm sorry. I didn't want anyone to think incorrectly of that. And for Ryan Sorensen from Havre, Montana, from our previous show. Hello, Ryan Sorensen, a.k.a. Bad Potato of Havre, Montana here. First donation from this Rogan transplant. Don't get mad, John, but I would like to request that the executive producer credits go to my son Christian that turned 21 on April 14th. And please add to the birthday list. He is an aspiring content creator and short filmmaker. However, I would also request that the money goes to my lovely wife Jessica's damehood. I will keep accounting. I successfully hit her in the mouth a few months ago, and she, like I, is going through your entire archive. Please de-douche her.
You've been de-douched.
Says he needs exit strategy karma R2D2, as 15 months ago was close to selling his small restaurant, but before we could sign papers, all the banks in our area decided they would not be lending money at that time. And then lastly, he says, my son needs a TPP jobs karma as he and future daughter-in-law are angling to leave our small town and could use the help. So let me take care of that for you. And we'll do it with the TPP and the R2D2. Where's the R2D2? Sorry, where's my R2D2? Got to have my R2. Oh. I know why. I'm looking in the wrong bin.
While you're doing that, I want to take issues. Okay.
Jobs you've got. Karma.
I want to take issue with that note.
Okay.
Starts off with don't get mad. Why would I get mad about any of that stuff?
I have no idea. It's your rep.
I usually don't get mad about people transferring the donation to somebody else or doing the bookkeeping the way you want to do it.
Yeah,
ever.
It's your reputation, man. I can't help
my reputation. My only real grouse is about the super long notes.
I know. Yes. Well, we share that. Hey, thank you to these producers who supported episode 1341. Now, this was $50 and up. Thank you. Many people come in below 50. I see a lot of 49.99s there because they want to stay completely anonymous for sure. We don't read anything below the line. And thank you to the many producers who are also on some of our small subscription programs. They do help on the slower days, and it's just really appreciated. You are producing the best podcast in the universe. You are a producer of the No Agenda Show. If you'd like to do this some more, if you haven't done it yet, if you'd like a de-douching, why don't you come on over after you check out our fabulous donation website,
Dvorak.org/NA.
And a Go Karma for all who need it.
You've got karma.
Here's what we're looking at. First of all, we got to say belated happy birthday to Hot Sonya, who turned 36 on April 13th. Ryan Sorensen, happy birthday to his son Christian, turned 21 on the 14th. Dragon Energy says happy birthday to his fierce tigress in training, Jacqueline, celebrated yesterday. Sir Mac, his awesome keeper Dame Lauren is celebrating today. David Calloway will turn 40 yesterday. Fred Thornburg, his son Eric, turns 34 on April 29th, and his granddaughter Mildred Wissing will be turning 1. Sir Ever of the Watt says happy birthday to his wife Kathleen, and myself and John C. Dvorak say a very happy birthday to the one and only Mark. We know him as Void Zero, keeps the engine room running. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah. Title changes. Faceless dice changes. Don't wanna be a douchebag.
No douchebags here, and we've got the first title change discussed and settled. Sir Seatsitter becomes Sir Seatsitter. Sir Vito becomes Baronet Errant, and Dame Lorne becomes Baronetess Lorne. And we thank all of you for stepping up with an additional support for the No Agenda Show. It is highly appreciated. We got 3 nights, so we'll get out our playful knives, because as you know, it's just knives. There's nothing.
Here you go. Here you go.
It's just a big knife, that sword. There's nothing special about it. Up on the podium, David Galloway, Fred Thornburg, and Brian Furley. Gentlemen, all 3 of you supported the No Agenda Show in the amount of $1,000 or more. Therefore, I'm very proud to pronounce the KB with the following titles. Sir David Galloway, the knight formerly known as Fred, and Sir Soothsayer. For you, we've got by request. We got some hookers and blow. We got some Rent Boys and Chardonnay. We have a sea ration of beef with spice sauce and Diet Mountain Dew. But we also have redheads and rye if you want some. Rubiness, Reuben and Rosé, geishas and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk, pablum, or yes, mutton and mead. We got a lot of it here at the round table. And thank you all for supporting No Agenda. Go to noagendanation.com/rings. Eric the Shield will gladly help you out and make sure that you get your ring, your sealing wax, and your official, very, very official certification that it's all on the up and up. Here we go.
No Agenda meetups.
It's just like a potty. And we've got a couple of reports. Oregon Local 33 from Tim E. Certainty. Just back from our amygdala shrinking meetup, and it was awesome as ever with Sir JT and Dame Sparkle and the 6 of us for a total of 8. We had a great time visiting while enjoying the outdoors. Sadly, we learned that 2 more of our cohorts are leaving for Texas and possibly another one after that. Stop taking our people! With the price of homes around here, it's very tempting to sell what I have and move to Beverly, Texas. Actually, if my big draw would be to Boca Chica. That kind of decision is a ways out, though. We played a game of No Agenda Blockbuster trivia game and went home as it was getting cold outside. Good time had by all. Best regards. Thank you for your courage. And here is a meetup report that was sent in from... hold on a second. Make sure I have the right one here. I'm sorry. Yes, this is Chicago.
Hi, this is Greg for the Stranger Than Fiction Chicago No Agenda meetup.
In the morning, it's Sherry At my second meetup, and this one is awesome.
Hey, it's Lindsay.
Hey, what's happening? It's Fiddly Brian, dodging pokes left and right.
Hey, it's Steve. I'm just a douchebag. Happy to be here.
Hey, everybody. This is Chad from the Chicago meetup.
1010 Eric from the Chicago meetup. Renewable energy is not renewable.
Hey, Adam and John.
What's good?
That's Jimmy.
In the morning, guys. Thanks for all you do, gentlemen.
In the morning, Matt McVader, Knight of Edgewater.
ITN, this is Eli the coffee guy saying what's up, y'all.
Hi, John and Adam. I'm a new guy. Nice to meet you all.
Sir Tony in Chicago, checking in.
Hey, it's Alex, the joke writer. Just want you guys to know I really... Oh, there goes the Zephyr.
Hey, Adam and John. It's Sunny from Sunny Says So. Out of Maricopa, Arizona here in Chicago, visiting with a whole group of cool-ass people.
Ah, Sunny, right.
Hi, this is Mary Lou, and I don't have anything to say. I just don't.
This is not Sir yet, but Xander, listener since 460 in the morning. John and Adam, I owe you some money.
Nice. Well done. Hey, this is Chicago, man. You think that they'd just be all a bunch of nut jobs there, but it sounds like some
toddling town.
Yeah, cool people. Sounded pretty young, most of them. That's very nice. Let's see how things were in Denver.
Chatting it up at the water's edge. This is Dow Jin.
And this is Tacos. I just found out today that I'm getting $333 on my Colorado tax return.
Hey, this is the proprietor, Jennifer. They call me the wine slinger.
Keep that shit up. This is Brian Furley, Future Night. Watch out.
This is M. Andrew Jones.
This is Jim from Denver. Hail Caesar, salad.
This is Sir Scott, a Wild West pimp style. And that's another one in the books.
You know, the keeper and I had dinner Friday night with Marty Bent and his beautiful wife, Rachel, who will be moving to the Austin area. And Marty does Tales from the Crypt. It's a really big Bitcoin podcast. And so they're both 28, 29, exactly the age of the millennials. So I hope we'll save the planet. And he made very clear, he said, you and John have no idea how important you are to our generation. I was like, after all those years of us bitching at millennials, said, yeah.
Bitching and moaning.
Yeah. And I have to say, it was heartwarming. I really enjoyed that. Franklin, North Carolina.
ITM, Adam and John. This is Sir Robert bringing you the No Agenda meetup in the Smokies from Franklin, North Carolina, where we all have respect.
This is John, and I am embarrassed to admit that I am still a douchebag.
In the morning, this is Bob from Annapolis, and I'm living the mac and cheese life here in Franklin, North Carolina.
Hey, this is Greg from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm here at the Currahee Brewery. Came up for the No Agenda Franklin, North Carolina meetup in the morning.
Let's go out in a blaze of glory. Thank you for the wonderful podcast. Thank you from the semi-free state of North Carolina.
In the morning.
Yeah, beautiful. And producers, when you do send something in, watch your levels, please. It's getting pretty bad.
I wonder where Franklin is. It looks like a very cool little town.
Isn't that near where Dame Jennifer lives? I thought she lived in there, Franklin.
No, Dame Jennifer's in South Carolina.
Oh, she's South Carolina. I'm sorry. Who's in Franklin? Anyway, here's what's happening for today. Myrtle Beach Sanitary Salt Air Meetup, which is underway as we speak, or 3:33 p.m. That'll be at Grandstand Brewing Company, Rusty Jones, who you want to look out for. Santa Fe Do-Gooders at 4:30 Mountain Time. Jeff Toig, Sir Jeff, will be at Santa Fe Brewing. Coming soon, May 1st, what do we have? The Beer Barbecue and Axe Throwing Freedom Meetup in Nisswa, Minnesota. Kentucky Derby Day Meetup, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Spring Boston Red 33 Mayday Meetup. Also, Dissenters of Ford and Fauci in Toronto, Ontario. And coming up in this month, May 6th, Denver, Colorado. Charleston, South Carolina on the 7th. Oakland County, Michigan on the 8th. San Francisco, the 15th. Durham, North Carolina, the 16th. The 22th, Chicago and Long Beach. Santa Ynez on the 28th. Rhode Island, the 29th. Amarillo, Texas on the 29th. Brisbane, Australia on the 30th. And looking ahead towards June 4th, Peterborough, Ontario. These are the No Agenda meetups. It's where you get together with other slaves from Gitmo Nation. You bitch, you moan, you drink, you have a good time. There's no triggering, and you laugh a lot. In fact, it's just like a party. NoAgendaMeetups.com.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. where you want me. Triggered or held the flame. You wanna be where everybody knows the same.
So Franklin is way west.
Oh, really?
So it's obviously ketchup land where they put the put a little tomato something or other in their barbecue sauce, which is vinegar based.
We both have a clip that works together. I'll play mine first.
Now to California and a high-profile entry into the potential recall race for governor there. Caitlyn Jenner says she's throwing her hat into the ring as a Republican candidate to oppose Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, who's facing a recall effort from some residents that are pretty unhappy with his running of the state during the pandemic.
This is such a truly great American story.
Oh, it's great.
It's just so many minds get warped and twisted and don't know what to say and don't know what to do.
You can't find a more warped and twisted mind to get twisted than Bill Maher's report on this same topic.
How about this for news? Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor.
That's exactly what it's like with, I'm just going to say it, Democrats and liberals. Someone started clapping, found out he or she was the only one. People are laughing. The person wilted away. It's sad.
How about this for news? Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor.
Anyone not clapping is clearly a transphobe.
Let me finish my whole monologue on this and maybe take that one back. I know you think of her as a reality show star, but come on, people change. She is trans, rested, and ready. I mean, she's got a great slogan, take the sack out of Sacramento.
That's funny.
Because
I like that.
Because, this is only happening because our governor, there's a recall, which is stupid, but we're probably going to do it because in California we do stupid things like that.
Wow.
There's nothing stupid about a recall.
No, why would
and he's a California, I think maybe he's from back east, but it's one of the few states that allows this because there's plenty of people that need to be recalled now and again. And it's a great mechanism to have at your disposal to get rid of people. And he's thinking it's stupid. What is wrong with this guy?
A lot. But what's wrong with...
You can go back, do more transphobic jokes. Ho, 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 laugh riot.
But it's really interesting because...
big liberal, some liberal, I don't know. I don't get it personally.
It's a brain freeze for them because here you can't even look wrong at a trans man or woman without being excoriated, but it's okay if that trans man or woman is a Republican. Then,
oh yeah, if it's a Republican, they're fair game.
I mean, doesn't that just show how sad and pathetic it really is? That's the part that I just need to highlight, man. It's like, geez, get your story straight. And Nora O'Donnell, what's on her mind?
Now to what could be a seismic shift in how the Pentagon handles sexual assault and harassment complaints within its ranks.
Just like assault.
Sexual assault? What did she say?
Assault. She says sexual assault.
Assault.
Now to what could be a seismic shift in how the Pentagon handles sexual assault and harassment complaints within its ranks.
Wow.
She just plowed right through it. Didn't stop.
That's a gem.
Didn't stop at all. Now, this will be my last kind of important clip. I did want to get it in here as we have a lot of amps joining the show as our Asian millennial producers. We love you, amps. We got them in the Chicago area for sure. You have a home here at No Agenda Nation. You always have, of course, except now we have to identify you as such because that's what the left of America wants. And, of course, we have anti-Asian hate, which is the term. You can't just say Asian hate. You can't say racism. It has to be anti-Asian hate, which to me is grammatically not correct. Because if you hate anti-Asian hate, then, I don't know, just sounds confusing.
No, what you're saying is anti-Asian hate means you hate people who are anti-Asian.
Yes, that's the way, grammatically, I think that's what it means.
Yeah,
but there's a couple things in this report. Number one is pay attention to where this anti-Asian hate is taking place. And then obviously you'll find out who was the catalyst and why this is happening.
A U.S. think tank says about 1/3 of Asian Americans worry they could become victims of hate crimes. This follows a series of violent and discriminatory incidents, mainly in New York and California, where many people of Asian descent live. In New York on Friday, a 61-year-old man of Chinese descent was pulled to the ground and his face was repeatedly trampled. His attacker had approached him from behind. The victim was severely injured. The Pew Research Center carried out the survey of 352 Asian Americans aged 21 or older. 81% of the respondents feel violence against Asians has increased since the pandemic began. 32% say they're afraid of being intimidated or physically attacked. The think tank cited several respondents as saying the discrimination and violence was fueled by former President Donald Trump, who repeatedly blamed China for the pandemic.
So, it's happening in New York and California, but it's Trump's fault. Okay. I mean,
wow.
Come on, Pew. Pew, Pew.
Trump.
Pew, Pew, Pew. You can do better than that, Pew, Pew. Trump.
Well, I have one last clip, but I think we can push this off. And we have to push off one more thing. I have to remind us, everybody out there is listening and hoping for the best. We have to push off the second half of the show and the dead cows and all the rest of the alien stuff that we were supposed to be talking about. We are putting it on the Thursday show for sure.
Oh, yeah? The dead cows?
The second, right after the first block of donations, we're going right to it.
Promises. I also have an OTG segment that we didn't get to today. That damn Rona's taking up all of our good time.
Well, it was a good Rona segment.
Well, yes, especially since we learned nothing about India. Otherwise, it was a great segment. Who the hell? I guess this is where we need to call. We need our Indian producers, and we know there's two of you at least. And we need you to step up. We need the help.
We need some solid reporting.
Yes. All right, let me just get the end of show ISO, which we had decided was help me now.
End of show is the it's in the show dummies.
Yeah. What's it called?
It is on here. It is listed
yes, I have it. Show SOS
over 2.
Yes, I got that one. Okay. Let me see what we have coming up on NoAgendaStream.com. Grumpy Old Ben's, episode 154 for that. And we have, I think it's some pretty cool end of show mixes. Professor JJ, who also wrote a fantastic constitutional argument against the statement that the United States has racism built into its constitution. That is in the show notes. Well worth taking a look at. Then we have Chet Frederick. You'll like what he threw together. We got John Fletcher, and we got Jesse Coy Nelson. I mean, does it get any better than that? I think not. Coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State, FEMA region number 6, and all the governmental maps. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it is raining now, or kind of. It's very sprinkly. I'm John C. Dvorak.
Yep, that's the power of the rain stick. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA as we return with you on Thursday. Please join us then. Until then, adios, mofos, and such.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China.
Unwelcome but expected
concerns of a second wave of infections.
In a year of global pandemic,
The United States is reporting the highest number of deaths in a single day, nearly 1,500.
cities were in chaos.
Minneapolis and started several fires. One of them inside
America was at a crossroads.
We know there's another crisis attached to this pandemic.
And facing one of the most important elections in history.
Election night 2020.
Only one man could emerge victorious and save his country and the world from a deadly virus.
It's not my expertise in what the parliamentary rules and how to get there.
With his majority party behind him, how could he fail?
We have put together the most extensive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Find find out in The Delaware Despot.
I will raise taxes for anybody making over $400,000.
Starring Joe Biden.
I'm not punishing anybody.
Nancy Pelosi.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Sandy Cortez.
Are you for real?
Jen Psaki.
I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
Dr. Jill.
Broadway! The future is ours!
And introducing The Hunter.
I mean, I went for 13 days without sleeping, smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively.
Special appearance by Hillary Clinton.
You saw? He died.
Inside the Beltway, dysfunction is back, and it's bigger than ever.
Well, look, I guess I should be flattered. People are coming because I'm the nice guy.
Don't miss The Delaware Despot.
We're going to dictate more masking.
Coming soon to theaters and streaming services.
I'll need an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
This film has not yet been rated.
Come on, man.
The police and say, guess what's going on?
Experience horror like you've never experienced it before.
Hey, Bill, what happened to Jim? He's dead? The mutants are here. Because we're going to have to talk about the dead cows.
Dead cows and UFOs.
It's real!
I know this isn't really scientific, but I mean, are we doing it fast enough?
Oh my gosh! Can you see that juice?
Do it with your family or with people that are in your household.
Dead cows. The mutants are here. Dead cows. Mutants are here.
Bovine flatulences. Animals that can eat grass have very unusual stomachs that have these bacteria that are methanogenic in there, and so they leak natural gas both out the front and the back. Nobody knows how to get rid of that.
How to get cows to stop farting.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people don't like Pabst.
Is Pabst Blue Ribbon seen as like a cheap, crappy beer?
Let's see. Let's find out.
There he goes. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes. Just getting paid to drink lots of sweet, sweet PBR.
Oh, high fives.
And another Pabst Blue Ribbon splits open early in the morning, everybody.
That's it. Yeah. I should mention, before you do that, ribbon hat.
Are you wearing it, though, right now, is the question?
Yeah, of course.
Are you wearing it backwards, like a hip-hopper? Like a hip-hopper?
No, it's not straightforward. It's over to the side by about 30 degrees. By the way, we should be getting cases and cases.
Cases and cases.
We're only going to do this bit a couple more times.
And another Pabst Blue Ribbon splits open during the No Agenda show. You cannot hide your problem, Dvorak. It's okay. It's okay. We're friends here.
Yeah. It's a nice sparkling water, Stacey.
Oh, well then perhaps you should deparch yourself or something.
Sorry?
You should deparch yourself. Deparch.
I was unaware of the wordage that you were implementing, and then but now I can do this.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
A show's over, dummy.